Welcome to First Thoughts. I'm Austin Johnson. We have a very fun episode today, a 2023 draft. We've got myself, Connor's here, Caleb is here, Adam is here. We did this about a year ago for movies from 2022. We're going to make this a tradition. 2023, I just want to kind of go around round table here. We'll start with Connor. What are your kind of initial thoughts on the year? Did you like it? Did you enjoy it? And do you think it's a year you're going to remember fondly?
No, it's not. Um, I
Movie wise.
I know. I that's what I meant.
All right.
So Caleb and I handled a lot of first thoughts this past year. Watched a lot of the blockbusters, gave our thoughts, and I gotta say, this has been a very lukewarm year for big movies. A lot of stuff just kind of came and went. A lot of stuff was half-assed. A lot of stuff's gonna disappear from the pop culture conversation forever, barring some exceptions, obviously. So in that respect, I am kind of disappointed this year. But I got to say, in the last 2 or 3 months, the indie scene has fucking delivered with some incredible dramas and comedies and low budget stuff that's going to be, heavily represented in award season. So I guess the movie buff in me was happy about that. The movie goer in me was like, I wanted better shit. So I guess I'm kind of mixed.
Okay, fair enough. Adam and I's thoughts are probably going to be similar, so let's go to Caleb.
I'd say mine are mixed also. It's funny because 2022, I was like, when we did this slasher for 2022, and I was praising like horror came out strong that year.
Yeah.
It just seemed like left and right we were getting constant good release after constant good release. Horror took, on the horror front, it kind of took a break. I won't say it was terrible. It just wasn't as like consistently good as it was in 2022, which I was kind of expecting. Very rarely do you get like, stacked year after stacked year. It just very rarely happens. Um, but when we did get hits, I mean, we saw, return of a big heavy hitter franchise returns coming that just blew people away. That I think in one case, critics, and I wasn't expecting critics like, and they did. Um, Outside of the genre, yeah, you had a lot of. This was to me the year that studios had a wake up call, and you cannot pump $300 million into films and expect to make your money back because it's Indiana Jones, or as we learned, it's Mission Impossible, right? Like both films could have been successful, but their budgets were astronomical. Um, and in case Indiana Jones, it was just a lukewarm reception to it. I know Mission Impossible actually had a pretty good reception. I myself really enjoyed it. Um, so I'm kind of with Connor. Like I walked away more times than not, kind of disappointed when I went to go see on the big budget like Hollywood side of things. But the indie scene, as has proven time and time again, always came out strong. There was always something new and unique on the indie front, on the smaller scale front. So I'd say mixed. I was a little mixed this year.
A mixed 2023 for Connor and Caleb. Adam, what about you?
I actually I enjoyed it. I would go a little bit stronger than the last couple of years.
Me too.
Yeah, I would say probably the strongest since kind of pre-pandemic times. I think it's because I just didn't even give like those kind of Indiana Jones and those. I just didn't see them. I just was like, I kind of had a pretty good filter system this year. Where it's like I relied on like either you guys or some critics that I read or some podcasters that I listen to be like, hey, this is not really worth your time. And I just relied on. I think there's an argument that I might do that too much. But there's just so little time to actually go do this stuff. And I saw a ton of movies in theaters this year. But I really was excited by the ones I did see. There's only a couple where I was like, man, that was just a total bomb, or that was just like a waste of time. I just kind of avoided the ones that like the overwhelming majority of people were telling me like, it's probably not worth your time. So I just didn't go see it. So I didn't have as many of those leaving the theater feelings or, giving a chance on streaming feeling of like, I don't know. I thought it was a pretty strong year, especially at the top. Like I had like 4 or 5 that I was like really, really, really high on. And then I think you guys have both hit on this, Connor and Caleb, both like how the end of the year here has like given us quite a few really good ones. That is something I just think they've got to get better at, spreading that stuff out like throughout the year, because it's like we have these massive almost, I mean, and look, the strikes played a huge role in this too, but we have these huge like swaths of time where there's like very little coming out that's of high quality, and then all of a sudden it's this concentrated group right at the end that are all, you know, trying to grab awards. I actually wonder if that's not the best strategy, because I think there's movies that are lingering in our minds from a June or a March that are like, oh, actually, yeah, that was really good, and it was good because it was kind of the best thing I saw in that little time period. Where it's like, you know, in December I'm seeing like 10 movies that I really like, because I'm looking at my thing, I'm like, man, this is pretty. My little draft board here, it's like, this is pretty recent. Like there's like a lot of recency bias. So like, no, that's just how that came out. Like they just are releasing these so late in the year. I think that's going to be a problem moving forward. So I hope they kind of fix that. But also, I don't know. What do you think about that?
Yeah, no, I'm with you as far as just this is my favorite year of the decade so far, at large. Just I look at you mentioned there's 4 or 5 for you near the top. There's like 3 movies I absolutely idolize already, and then there's like 9 or 10 that I really really enjoy and I will go to bat for. That's a lot, you know, from any given year. But no, I think you hit the nail on the head a few times there with the calendar, the use of the calendar, and we'll get into that, I'm sure, with some of these. It's definitely hard to tackle. And then this influx of stuff that may not be super successful, money wise, financially, whatever, but just really hits home and is going to end up on best of lists. You know, here already have in December and now January. And of course, you know, as the Oscar nominations come out pretty soon, and more lists come out, more people watch more stuff that came out late in the year, or more foreign stuff that's not available yet. So it just gets too condensed, man. So I'm with you, Adam, but I also understand from Caleb and Connor's perspective, because they do give some of that stuff a chance, right? Adam and I are very similar, where we just kind of, you know, I definitely listen to people. I definitely listen to. I hear Connor tell me sometimes, like, he takes these chances on Indiana Jones and he's just like, it's just annoying. And so I'm like, why would I do that to myself? You know? And like, why would I become just this minuscule, tiny number that's not going to change anything in the long run? If the movie's bad, the movie's bad. You know what I mean? Like, but if a movie really impacts you, that a lot of these that we're going to talk about, that's what drives me. That's what drives me. I go to work, I start talking to people about, oh, like, please go watch this. It's actually on Prime. You know, you can watch it right now at home. I'm obsessed with that part of it. You know, the word of mouth and just kind of going to bat for stuff. So that's what this draft is all about. We're trying to draft our favorite movies, collect as many as you can. We have a couple rules in place. We're not going to do any major spoilers here, because there are going to be films that a lot of people haven't seen yet. Just haven't gone around to, or maybe they're only in theaters and they haven't been able to go yet. So my whole idea is this is kind of a recommendation draft. Rather than us ramble on about the plot of each film, we're just going to kind of, you know, hammer home some of the stuff we really loved and move on. And also, if you guys can, and if you have found something with each film you pick, if you could provide a way to watch it, I've asked you guys to do that. So I think we're all ready to go here. I randomized a draft order right before we started recording, and this has not happened in a long time, but I have the first pick. Let's go. Connor is second, Caleb is third, and Adam will be on the turn at 4, so he'll go back to back. I think I think that's a place he actually quite enjoys, being able to going 2 at a time allows you to kind of make like mini double features. So yep. I've always loved the turn as well. But anything else you guys want to get off the chest before we start picking movies?
I do like that you guys are more selective. You guys follow your heart and your brain more with movies, especially movies you have to pay for, because, you know, going to theaters is a fucking event.
Yeah.
And,
yeah. I mean, I just don't go to I would if I could, you know. I just don't go very often because of having a child makes it quite difficult and quite expensive.
And I do think that if we didn't have first thoughts, I wouldn't have seen as much as I saw. But I wanted to stay current. I wanted to give as much things a chance as I could. And Caleb and I kind of started seeing a pattern of just the quality just dropping a little bit by bit the entire summer. It became kind of a joke for us of like, look how shitty movies are getting out of Hollywood now. So I'm hoping that in 2024, it, you know, gets a little better. So we'll see. But
Yeah, Connor,
definitely agree that if I hadn't seen as much, if you guys had seen as much as I had, I think we would be on the same page.
well, Connor, I think maybe a good way to kind of term y'all. Well, maybe Caleb, you too. Your feelings on this is like bad summer, overall good year though. You know,
Yeah.
Yeah.
is that fair? Yeah, like because I think like the summer ones were like, man, these are some like I went to less than usual because I was just like these are just so few. These are getting any
Like,
sort of
oh, the Meg 2, baby. Come on.
yeah. It's just like
Well,
man, this is brutal. Like it just felt like a pretty bleak summer in terms of like kind of the big blockbuster stuff. Which it's like we've now broken this into summer is for blockbusters, like winter and fall is for serious movies. And it's like I hate that we're doing that. Like I wish we could sprinkle it in a little bit more, but
Yeah.
that is what it is. So yeah, I would say disappointing summer is very fair.
yeah,
That hits the nail on the head.
yeah, disappointing summer. And like I said, I really hope the studios between the strikes and the box office that was consistently proving people aren't interested in a lot of this stuff anymore, that the studios wake up and try to fix this, because we saw time and time again these big blockbusters that were coming out during the summer and audiences weren't caring, right? And a lot of them were franchises, right? And people weren't showing up, but the biggest hits of the summer were two essentially quote unquote original films that came out the same weekend. As
Yeah.
in that case, I understand one's based off a toy and one's, a real life story, but they were fairly original and they were like the biggest hits of this entire summer.
Yeah,
Yeah.
some of the biggest hits ever. I mean,
Yeah, I was gonna say it's so crazy that it's like this blip in. I think those came out in July. It's this like
Yeah.
blip that's just like boom, it's just this explosion of people being like, "Holy fuck!" Like a movie made by a woman for women that like understands us, and then the other one's like dudes. Like it's just like it's two opposite ends of the spectrum. And I'm sure. I mean, I would think one of those is gonna get picked at some point in this, and we can kind of go deeper into that. That one of those films, maybe two of them. We'll see, but. Yeah, it's God. This year has been so fascinating on the box office front. But yeah, we'll see, man. I always try to keep my head up, try to stay positive with this stuff. Keep looking forward. Sometimes you catch a year where like, oh, look all these auteurs that are doing these different things, or like last year, Caleb, I was with you, man. I watched way more horror last year because it just felt like it was this word of mouth, like, oh my God, you have to see this. You have to see Sadness. Like those are movies that just became these kind of phenomenons within the horror community. So when that happens, you latch onto it. When it doesn't, you just you keep moving and find things you like. But Adam and I are also very, very, very into sports, and that cuts into our movie watching time. So we do have to be selective because it's like, look, I got this window. This is the window, and I want it to be fun. I want it to be good. I want to go away with something worthwhile rather than just kind of throw the net out. Where I know Connor is very much he just inhales this shit. So you watched like 700 movies this past year, so that's just bonkers. But I respect it because I also love them. I just don't love them that much.
Yeah. I will say, based off the previews we've slowly gotten for like the summer releases this year, like Kingdom Planet of the Apes, the Mad Max movie,
Yeah,
looks like right off the rip we're getting better looking films already this year for the summer.
Yeah.
Like, I'm really excited for every new thing they've previewed coming out. That makes me go like, okay, this might be the year then. That we get like some solid stuff, and
yeah,
Terrifier 3 comes out later this year. I'm already
dude.
for that.
Yes. Oh man, yes. Stoked.
So it looks like this will be a very good year. It looks like, hey, 2023 is what it was for the summer blockbuster and all that stuff with the strikes and stuff. But it looks like they're coming strong this year. So I just I'm keeping my head up. I'm very hopeful for what I've seen advertised. Even that first Omen trailer that came out recently, at first I was like, are we really doing a fucking Omen prequel? Are you kidding me?
Yeah. Careful now. Yeah.
Yeah, I saw the trailer and I was like, okay, this actually looks pretty good.
Yeah. Fuck.
I'm like, all right.
Yeah. One last thing. We were talking about summer stuff. You know what like baffles me is what was that? Is it just called Marvels?
The Marvels.
Yeah, the Marvel.
The Marvels. Other than I think y'all did an episode on it.
Yeah.
Y'all too.
Yeah.
I don't think I've heard two just like pedestrians, like two random people having a conversation about that movie. And it's like, dude, like Endgame was 4 years ago. Like, it's not like it was, in the 90s. It just happened. What the quality is beyond me because I really cared about the stakes towards the end, man. Infinity War and Endgame, I really, really cared. And I feel like I got cheated on. Fuck. Like, I'm sure you guys feel like that you've been cheated on fucking 50 times. So that's just I don't know. I couldn't do it, man. I couldn't go and like spend money to see that movie. I couldn't do it.
I love that you use that analogy because like you got cheated on and you wised up and you left the relationship. We got cheated on, but we keep going back to her apartment.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we keep listening to her say she's going to do better next time.
Yeah, we believe it every time she's like, "No, I'm gonna change. I promise."
Yeah, Adam and I are like, fuck that. Shut the door on that shit. Yeah. See you later. On to the next one. That's great. Well, without further ado, I'm gonna make a pick here. I'm really not trying to steal anything really through this. I really want to get movies I love, but I do know there's a film that Adam saw earlier on in the year, and then Connor went to see it, and I wasn't able to go see it in theaters, but I watched it. Now I've seen it 2.5 times already, and it's by far and away my favorite movie of the year, and that's Past Lives. Just fuck me, it's just a straight gut punch. But Celine Song debut film, first off, is just fucking insane for her to make that, and the care that they have with the three main characters, the amount of care that's given into each one is really really cool. The music's fucking awesome. The length of it's like an hour and 45 minutes. It could have been one of those like kind of like like movies that goes too long, spends too much time in this world. But I feel like it's almost like, I could use like a tiny bit more, which is like such a sweet spot for a film like this. And I mean, when I tell you there's a moment, for anybody who hasn't seen it, like it's my highest recommendation of the year by miles. There's a moment in the movie where, like, I mean, I had to like put my shirt over my face because I was like, oh my god, just the depth to this moment between these two people. Years go by right through this movie. It's one of those kind of like epic stories between two people, and really three people towards the end. But it was just one of those things where I just kind of like looked around the room like, holy hell, like I don't really know how to control myself right now. And then after I had watched it that second time, my wife, she was watching when I got home from work. There was maybe like an hour left. I just sat down and watched the rest of it. It's one of those things where it's immediately in my canon of just, I'm going to love this movie till I die. So Past Lives to me is definitely my first pick, and I'm happy to have it and happy to recommend it to everyone out there. It is right now only available for rental. I think it's like $4.99, Prime, Vudu, whatever. So definitely spend that money, man. It's so worth it.
Beautiful. Yeah, that movie. It might be the most realistic love story I've ever seen in a film. Just sometimes things don't work out. Sometimes things work out differently than you'd expect. And I like movies that treat relationships in a meaningful, real way. And yeah, that movie, like you could tell it came from a real place.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Celine Song, she, it's straight from the heart. Someone who comes from Korea to Canada to New York, and just like, I'm going to write what I know. One of the great quotes that Bong Joon-ho said at the Oscars from Martin Scorsese is right. Like, write what's personal, because personal is best. And she definitely like just straight from the heart. And it's amazing that this isn't her like 10th movie. Mm-hmm. It's got such a control to it and such like a clear vision where it could have gone off path so many times. It stays on that one. Like, no, this is where the story's at. This is where the story's at. We're not going to introduce a bunch of side characters. Like, we're going to go right here, straight to the heart. So I love it. Adam?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I when I saw it in the theaters, I just sat there crying during the credits because it was just so, the ending was so real. Like you said, Connor, right? Just like, I don't want to spoil, because I really, really don't. Because the ending is one of the coolest endings I've ever seen in a movie in my life.
Yep.
And I don't want to say too much, but it's so human. I mean, it's so like, I don't want to spoil too much. And we got to say,
Greta Lee, dude.
Greta Lee, yeah, we got to say her name. I mean, it's not like she carries the movie. She's absolutely phenomenal. So, and the story is basically, it's the connection of these two kids in Korea when they're 12. They're like best friends. One moves away, and the other one's the boy stays in Korea. and then they reconnect at the age of 24, and then reconnecting at the age of 36. I don't want to say too much kind of in between, but
Yeah.
but they reconnect in different ways over the course of like their life, in those 3 periods. And yeah, just like, and even that part too, like the connection at 24 too, like I don't know, I've
Oh,
experienced
dude. Yeah.
different things, and I'm at an age now, I'm closer to the 36 than I am to the 24 or the 12, and yeah, man, it hit me hard. It's just really, really beautiful movie, really well acted. And like you said, Austin, the control, it's so well edited because like the pace is perfect. It never feels like it wastes a moment. Yeah, man,
Yeah.
I really don't want to spoil. I really don't want to spoil. So
Yeah.
I'll kind of leave it at that. But no, again, yeah, highest recommendation. I mean, I have a bunch of kids that I coach. They were talking to me about, what was your favorite movie from last year and stuff like that. And I was explaining it to them, and I was like, I don't want to say too much. Like, but I just like, you guys need to go see it. Like, I just think like it may not hit an 18-year-old as hard as it would, someone who's nearly twice that age. But yeah, I think there's something for everybody.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Totally agree. Just movie fucking rocks. I cannot wait to own it. And it's gonna be one of those things where it's gonna become comfort to me for sure. Even though it's really, I don't know. While it's sad, it's like, I don't know, it has this like optimism about it. That's
yeah,
like,
I
I
actually
don't know.
I wouldn't even term it, and that's somebody was like, "What kind of movie is this?" It's not a rom com. I mean, it's it's a drama. It's like, I mean, it is romantic, but it's and there's comedic elements to it. But calling it this is gonna sound mean, but like calling it a rom com is like a massive disservice. I mean, it's really
Oh
it's really,
yeah, no, yeah.
like I think quite a bit more ambitious than that. But yeah, it's like I just think it's just so incredibly human. I think if you read it as strictly sad, I think that says a lot about you. I think there's actually an immense amount of hope at the end. I mean, again, I don't want to say too much, but
Yeah.
yeah,
No, I'm with you.
I did not read it as a traditionally sad movie.
Yeah, and I think like everyone can take some fucking notes from Teo Yu's character. He's I was just like, wow. I mean, wow, like what a subtle performance from him, and also just like, wow. I mean, how to handle yourself in certain situations, and how to know when to observe and when to participate. Those things are that's been observing, like knowing like how to like act as a human in certain like social settings has become something that I've actually found in a lot of movies that I love from this past year. That have like has come up and has like I've had to confront. So yeah, great stuff. Caleb, you got to check this one out, man. It's all time stuff.
I am so happy that I have not seen this film. So
It's not one that you would look at the poster and be like, oh yeah, I need to see that. But I do think like every person could take a lot from it.
okay.
Yeah, good stuff. Connor, second pick.
I'm so glad that I'm able to get this movie because I know I was gonna have to fight Caleb and Adam for this. I didn't expect to see this. I didn't know I was going to be able to see this. I had no hopes for this at all. And then Caleb, you told me about it, and you pretty much convinced me to go check this out. And
You're gonna do it, aren't you? Dang it!
I'm
You
gonna
son of a bitch.
It wrecked me emotionally in a way that no Godzilla movie could, and that is Godzilla -1.
Man,
You son of a bitch.
I thought I could get that one.
I can't wait to see this, dude. Oh,
This is so good.
don't say too much, man. I can't wait to see this.
Godzilla -1 takes us back to the beginning of Japan's relationship with Godzilla. It's a poignant post-war drama about grief and survivor's guilt that Godzilla happens to be a part of. And I was so touched by that. This is the first Godzilla movie ever in the entire 50-year run of this creature where I cared about the human characters and that part of the story actually mattered.
Mm.
This is an amazing movie. It's directed by a man who grew up as a huge fan of Godzilla and was given the keys to the kingdom and delivered one of the most celebrated and critically acclaimed films in the whole franchise. I hope he gets to do 100 more. It's currently still like on the tail end of its theater run. It's available in a couple places. But as soon as this is out, I'm going to pick it up. I'm going to watch it all the time. It's reinvigorated me to go back and check out more Godzilla movies because I've only seen a handful and they're not that great. But this one was amazing. That visually stunning. Godzilla looks amazing. He's scarier than he's ever been. He actually feels like a vibrant force of nature that you cannot stop.
Especially in the water.
Yeah, in the water.
Oh,
the way how fast he moves is scary as hell.
Yeah.
And yeah, I love the story's beautiful. It's amazing. This like the scenes where it pays homage to past movies, especially with the music, was so inviting to longtime Godzilla fans. It had something for everybody. Newcomers, big, like longtime fans. Everyone could take something away from this. It's one of my favorite films of the year.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, dude. I look, I knew this movie was coming out, but I'm like, like a lot of people, I grew up watching the old Godzilla films on like TV because it was just big, dumb, giant monster action. I didn't really care about it. I just thought they were fun little films to watch as a kid, and I would laugh at the horrendous dubbing job.
Yeah.
Um, but then like this one started picking up some steam, and then I have my horror sites, magazines, all this stuff I'm on, right? And everyone in the horror community was like, dude, you gotta go see this one. It's so good. It's not what you're thinking it is. So finally I saw it was playing near me and I took a chance. Josh went with me, and holy shit, I was floored in such a good way. By then, this film, you like Connor said, you get Godzilla at probably his scariest he's been in years. I mean, that opening scene alone,
Mhm.
the scariest he's been in years. Looks better than they spent less money on this film than they do on American films, and he looks amazing. So America, take notes. Um, and like Connor said, the human aspect of like for once you cared about the human story. It's almost honestly like a drama with Godzilla fucking in it. Like
Yeah.
that's how they kind of structured it, and it's just so good. I was rooting for these characters. I cared about their story. I was wrecked at numerous points towards the end, and I just in the Godzilla destruction, like this is not like the American film. You're not going to get it like every 5 minutes, but like when you get those destruction scenes, they're awesome.
Mhm.
Like they are amazing.
Yeah, I think that last point you had on there is perfect because like if we got the perfect amount of Godzilla in it, because like I was a little bit worried they're gonna do the almost like Cloverfield thing of like let's kind of hide him and like not really show like the monster here for like a long time. But no, they like went it's like no like almost opening scene. It's like oh no, this is the force and this is what we're dealing with, and then they kind of sprinkle it in throughout the movie. But every time they do, it's so effective. Like it really is incredible how perfectly they managed like all of that. And I think the human part is yeah it's like shocking like how much you care about these people and particularly kind of the main guy. I like I had no idea what to expect. I mean, other than that, the reviews are good. I think you guys have both said, or Connor in one of our group texts said, "Hey, this is pretty good. This is really good." I was like, "Yeah, shoot, I'll go see it." I mean, this is worth the risk. So I did like a double feature. I can't remember what was the other one I saw that night, but and I left the theater and I was just like, that was like unreal. And I've been telling so many people to go see it, and people are like, man, Godzilla? Like, I don't know. Like, and it's like, no, trust me, trust me, trust me.
It's
Like
Japanese, I swear. Yeah.
yes, it's so good. And so I got one of the girls that I coached to go see it, and she saw me over the break. We came back to practice this weekend, and she was like, "Hey, I went and saw Godzilla -1." She just goes, "That blew my mind." I was like, "Thank you." I was like, "Yes,
Yeah.
it's so good." She's like, "Seriously, I can't believe it." And what was really cool to me is that we see a lot of World War II movies and post-war movies and stuff like that, but we don't necessarily get the Japanese version of kind of like just after World War II. I mean, it's like the days that World War II ended. Like it's
Yep.
right as it's ending. And it's starting. So like it's the period piece of it, plus like yeah, like you said, Caleb, I think it's like a 15-16 million dollar budget, and it looks incredible. Like I like way better than anything else I saw this year in terms of like the visual effects. I don't know how they did it, but I think the water scenes and the boat scenes are seriously like mind blowing. Like how awesome it looks. I can't again highly recommend it enough. I mean, it would have been probably my second or third pick in this draft.
Well, I love
Uh,
that Godzilla is like he is treated almost as like an opportunity for Japan's redemption. Like if
Yes.
we stop him, we can forgive ourselves. Like
Yes.
mm.
it's an amazing take to or an amazing angle to take for a Godzilla movie, and I was blown away by the balls to go there.
Well, it not only gets into that. I mean, I think that's spot on, and I think it also gets into like the Japanese psyche of like, hey, some of us fought in this and didn't really agree with what we were fighting for, and they're already coming to grips with like, man, like what was the point of all this? You know what I mean? Like they're seeing all this destruction, and these towns and these cities are totally destroyed from the war, and then more get destroyed by this monster. It's like, hey, now we need to rally together, and it is like this rallying cry. It's like, yeah, I actually wore a Japan soccer jersey to the theater, and afterwards I was like, I wanted to like go like show up to everybody. I was like, go Japan, like well done,
Yeah.
like that you did it for us. It was just like that was a really cool element of it. And I think the I can't remember the I got to look it up. The guy who played the scientist, he kind of stole the movie for me. I thought he was absolutely fantastic.
Yeah. To me, what made this one work so well, it was the first one since the original 50s film that just thematically felt like a sequel to it. It was harkening back to what made that very original film work and give us the franchise that has been going strong now. In that, yes, Godzilla, we like seeing the monster destruction, but there's a thematic point to him being in the film, like there wasn't, in the original, and they kind of harken back to that. And now they're doing it apparently to the point I read that they are releasing it in Japan. I don't know if we're going to get it in America. Um, Godzilla -1 minus color. They're going to show it in Japan in black and white.
Interesting.
Oh,
Wow.
that's
Yeah.
cool. -1 minus colors is sick. Yeah, that's badass. Man, I can't wait to see this. This is definitely the one that I'm like, fuck. Like, well, this and there's another one that I don't want to say that because I feel like Connor might pick it later, but there's no one. Those are the two that I'm like, fuck, man. Like, really wish I could have gone to see these. One of them I still could, but I feel like Godzilla. At this point, I gotta wait. And yeah, fun fact: got an 8.4 on IMDb, which is very, very high. It's already rated the 170th best movie ever on IMDb. That's insane. Like, I love it. I think that's cool. I love when stuff like just totally dominates and grabs people's attention. So yeah, I have people at work. See, there's a few people talking about this movie, but not talking about those big budget movies we were talking about at the top of the show. Like that's fucking cool, man. It's like even people who they call themselves movie lovers, and they may not be as dedicated as we are. They still enjoy them, right? And they're talking about Godzilla -1.
Yeah.
Not this bullshit that just gets fed to us like it's nothing. So that's great to hear. It's great to hear that all. Say it again.
Well, also it's proof that like you can have like these like big IP things and make them good. Like it doesn't have to be like Godzilla's not an original story. Like we've had tons of Godzilla movies.
Correct.
You can make them with really high quality, with care and intentionality, and really high quality acting and script writing. It's like it can be done. It's just like it doesn't have to be these like just like this like dross that we get served up. You know what I mean? From like these franchises. So I actually was like reinvigorated by that. It's like, oh no, actually like this can be done in a big blockbuster form. Yeah, seriously, it's absolutely incredible. I can't wait.
I felt the same way.
Yeah.
Awesome. I love that. Good first pick, Connor. Obviously, Caleb, take it away.
All right. Well, I want to go big for my first one, do a classic Caleb move, and as if this was Oscar Sunday, add a little horror into the
Yes.
And I want to go with the film that gave us the age-old banter and came back swinging. If it's Halloween or September, apparently, it must be Saw. Saw X is my first pick.
Oh, I had no idea this was coming up.
Oh
man.
Yeah, I'm back. Look, for those who know me, I'm a massive Saw fan. I adore this franchise. It's kind of lost its way once it initially ended, right? They were trying to reboot it numerous times. You had Jigsaw, that didn't take off. You had the Chris Rock one, Sproul, that didn't take off. So it's like they finally came up with this brilliant idea. And wait for it, guys. What if we make Tobin Bell, Jigsaw, the main character for the whole movie? What if we did that? Who might care then?
10 movies to get to that decision. Yeah.
Yeah.
Geniuses.
They make him the main character, and then wait for this. And this one I actually was legitimately worried that like longtime fans would be like, fuck off with this movie. They go, hey, it's going to be 2 hours long. And the first hour, strap in, there's almost no traps. It's all character development. We gave a shit about this script. And look, those two decisions alone paid off tremendously. This film, when I was already interested in it when I saw the trailer. Then I saw that like even critics, it had like an 80-something% on Rotten Tomatoes critics wise. I was like, there's no fucking way a Saw film has that. It does. And dude, this film, when I saw it, I was beyond giddy watching the movie. I mean, Tobin Bell delivers a career best, franchise best performance. He is phenomenal. I mean, lights out in this film. Shawnee Smith is right behind him, doing great. That hour of just character build up and development, what a game-changing thing. In all seriousness with that, like, you cared. Bro, that was the one time, because even I, as I've gotten older, have kind of questioned Jigsaw's I and he's putting traps. But in some of the later sequels, but in this one, I was like, yeah, no, kill these fuckers. Get them, chicks. Like because they used that time, they gave you that care to go, okay. And then when they do deliver the traps, finally, my God, the gore. They they don't hold back. It is beautiful to watch in a weird, sick, twisted way. And yeah, I walked out just head held high, the most excited I have been for this franchise in a while. I was damn near out of my seat when Saw 11 got announced a couple weeks ago. Like, let's go. Saw is back. Thank you, Saw X, for being so fucking good.
Oh man, I haven't even seen this. What, is it on something right now?
It is you can, I think, currently VOD. I think it just hit VOD. So you can rent it on
Okay.
Prime and stuff. And hey, look, I'll put the plug in here. Physical media, guys, if you still care, and you should, it is on Blu-ray 4K, and no, I don't think DVD is a thing anymore. Blu-ray and 4K.
Okay, sweet. So yeah, this came out in September, so it's already been a minute. Yeah, I've been waiting for it to hit something. I'll definitely give it a whirl. Connor, y'all did an episode on this, right?
Yeah, this was one of our longest first thoughts because I just said, fuck the timer, we've got shit to talk about. And I echo everything Caleb said. This was I knew that if I got an early pick, I was gonna either take Godzilla or Saw away from Caleb, and I picked Godzilla. Because this was an amazing movie. I just the care and the return to form that a 10th film in a horror franchise can get critical acclaim and fan acclaim and completely rejuvenate the franchise is amazing. Tobin Bell being sympathetic, like putting us on Jigsaw's side by putting him against even worse human garbage is amazing. And I just loved his dynamic with these absolute like pieces of shit who 100% deserved everything they got. And yeah, it felt like a beloved horror franchise was back in the saddle, and I'm very much looking forward to the future.
Sick. All right. I didn't really heard y'all talk about it. I didn't listen to the episode because I've seen it, so I didn't know y'all liked it that much. Fuck. All right.
It is so good. If you're a longtime Saw fan, easily one of the top 5 sequels. He's a fucking this thing rocks.
I'm trying to think what's my favorite outside of the first one. I mean, I've seen the other 9, but I mean, yeah, they're all, I have fun with all of them, just because just turn the brain off for a second. But it sounds like I'm turning the brain on a little bit for Saw 10.
A little bit,
that's
yeah.
great.
And like I said, I remember sitting there when they got to the point, like the first hour, I was concerned. I was like, oh God, people might be turned off because Saw actually is caring about characters and story development before we get to the traps. But luckily, thank God, in this case, I was wrong. I mean, it was a huge box office hit. Like I said, critics loved it, audiences loved it, and they dated Saw 11 for this year. Saw 11's coming, so we're back to Saw being a yearly part of our lives.
Good. I'm happy with that because there's another franchise that I'm like totally against now. So another horror franchise that I love. So that's good to hear. Happy about that. Adam, I know you're not. I don't think you've seen any of the Saw movies, have you?
Nope.
I think you would actually. I don't think you would like a lot of them, but I do think the first one would really. It is a mind fuck. Brilliant movie.
Yeah,
I would definitely recommend the first one to you, Adam. It's not nearly as like grotesque and violent as a lot of people think it is. Like the later sequels became. It's much more psychological. James Wan directed the first one. It's really good. I know you're not big into gore, so I probably wouldn't worry about 2 onward, because that's when the torture porn, like, give them traps, be as grotesque and gory as you possibly can, went into effect.
No, I'd love to see the first one. Yeah, and I'm not. It's not like I'm just like anti this, but it's like it's just like a time thing. It's like I'm limited, so I'm like, okay, I'll funnel into something else. But I'd see the first one. I'm not. But yeah, I have nothing to add to X. I didn't see it, and yeah, I because I haven't seen the previous 9, probably won't see this one. So I'm glad. What's that?
As soon as tickets went on sale, I was a guy. As soon as tickets went on sale, I got my Thursday night showing. I was there early as shit. I was ready to go.
Let's go, baby.
The world needs both of us.
Yeah, that's right. That's why we're all here. That's why we have this group of 4 to do a draft. But with that being said, Adam, you have 2 in a row.
Okay. Well, when you said the order, I knew I was not going to get some. 2 of my top 3 have been taken so far in past lives.
Shit.
And Godzilla -1, but my number 1 has not been taken. And I will go with that now. And I can't believe I like this movie as much as I did. I don't know. I shouldn't say that because I'm not a huge Nolan guy.
Oh, yes,
But give me
yes,
Oppenheimer.
yes.
Yeah, give me
Yeah, come
Oppenheimer.
on. Come
Yeah.
on, Oppenheimer.
I'm
Um,
also not a
this
huge Nolan guy.
what's that?
Hadn't you said you're not a huge Nolan guy?
Well,
Am I not?
right after I said that, I was like, that probably is going to sound not quite right because I do really like a lot of his movies.
Okay.
But I wouldn't call myself like some massive fan that I'm just like, oh man, like,
Same. Yeah.
he does no wrong, I think some of it
Yeah,
can be a
fair.
little bit like I love Dunkirk. I think Dunkirk is absolutely phenomenal. I think Inception has some really breathtaking, moments.
Prestige, baby, prestige.
Yes. And the Batman movies are awesome, but no, this is my favorite movie of his. Yeah, I don't know. It's a 3 hour, biopic essentially about a scientist. Like, it
A
has no
nerd.
right. It has no right being as good as it is. And
Yeah.
yet I saw it twice in theaters, which I never ever do. I never go twice to theaters, and I saw it twice. I don't know. Something about I knew what was going to happen. I mean, I know the story, and I obviously I know the bomb is going to work. Like, but those scenes are
Yeah,
absolutely
yeah.
like they're gripping. I mean, they're shot so well. I thought both Matt Damon, Cillian Murphy are just like amazing. Top tier performances. I'm a huge Peaky Blinders fan, so that was always going to be, um, you know, I was always gonna be excited by that casting
Yeah.
decision, and it is as good. He was as good as I was hoping. Yeah, I don't know what else to say. I mean, it's just the last hour of it. I know some people have some issues with, but I actually thought the Robert Downey Jr. stuff was really strong. The court scene, the
Oh,
court
yeah.
scenes are great. I love Florence Pugh. I mean, it's like yeah, I don't know. It lived up to the hype, and then it exceeded it for me. So I would go
Yeah.
with Oppenheimer. It's my first.
Yeah,
pick.
I'm with you on that, man. When I finally sat down, I was like, oh yes, and it probably is. I'd say The Prestige is still my favorite just because I've seen it so many times and I know it has that longevity. It has that rewatchability. I fucking love that movie, so that's going to be my Nolan favorite for now. But I am very very excited to rewatch Oppenheimer at home and see how it plays. Because obviously a lot of these movies we're talking about are like theater movies. But like, man, if a movie can't keep going years and years and years afterwards at home, it's not going to live on as well as others. So I can't wait to watch Oppenheimer at home and see if it has that same hold on me. And I'm sure it will because, man, my favorite part of it and something that I'm probably going to be like, oh yeah, is like all these people that just show up like for like 5 seconds,
Yeah, yeah.
like Casey Affleck's. Oh, by the way, like hold my beer,
Yeah.
like
Oh,
it's insane the amount of people that just show up. Like Benny Safdie's awesome in this. Emily Blunt. You mentioned Florence Pugh is great. RDJ is awesome. I'm head over heels for this movie, man. I think it has some of the coolest scenes from the entire year.
Rami Malek, Alden Ehrenreich.
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Gary
Who
Oldman.
am I forget?
Gary Oldman. Yeah,
Gary Oldman. Yeah. I'm forgetting someone that I really really enjoyed.
Robert Downey Jr.
Well, no, not RDJ. Josh Hartnett. Josh Hartnett's awesome in this movie.
Great.
Yeah, fuck, man. I don't know. This movie rules. So, I think it definitely is one of those like 10 years from now we could be looking back like that was the best year of the movie or best movie of the year. We could definitely be thinking that.
Yeah, it'd be kind of one that stands the test of time.
Yeah, it's definitely gonna have a legacy. So, what's your second pick? What are you gonna pair with it?
And then Oppenheimer is available to rent on multiple services, but no streaming quite yet. Second one that I'm gonna pick is very different, but this was I'm actually gonna get my number, I guess 4 here that I ranked for the year, and I'm gonna go Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse as my second one. Yes. It's the movie I saw in theaters that just had me just saying like wow multiple times. I mean, just there's some like little scenes and elements where I was just like I feel like a little kid watching the movie, and I was just like, and I'm not a Marvel guy by any means. I mean, but these two movies, the two Spider-Verse movies, have been excellent. Like just it's a combination of like the animation style, the soundtracks, the acting, the voice acting. It's just so high quality, and there's kind of this like sense of wonder in the Miles Morales character that like I feel while I'm watching it, and that's very hard to do. I think they're beautiful movies, and they really like resonate strong with me. They make New York a real character, which is really cool. I mean, I love things set in New York, and so that's an easy one for me too. But yeah, I'm really happy to get this one. I'm sure you guys all saw this one.
Oh yeah, and it's already on Netflix right now. It's
it's on Netflix.
It's fucking yeah. It's man. This is another one of those that's just gonna live on forever because it is so good. I've already watched some of it again. I went with Brianna and Willow to see this in theaters, and we all were just, it's like you said, Adam, you're just like, your eyes are just like big and like you're like a little child. It just has that hold, and like myself, 28 years old, my daughter 4 years old next to me, we have the exact same response, just like, you just go mute. You're like, I don't even know like what to say. This is so gorgeous. And on Netflix, it's already doing really well, and as you'd expect, right? It's just gonna. Just like the last one from 2018, it's just going to continue to be dominant and live on. So great stuff. Best animated movie of the year by a mile, right? I mean, come on.
I mean, that I saw. Yeah.
Great stuff. Connor?
Yeah, that movie was fucking amazing. It was a visual, and the scene, like, it was in the trailer, so it's not that big of a spoiler, but like the Spider Haven scene, whatever that was, just have every possible version of Spider-Man in there. I mean, it took years to animate that, and you can see the work that went into that, and it's just amazing. The people making this are the biggest Spider-Man fans on the planet. They'd have to be to do something like that. And I love the story. I love how dark it gets. I love the crazy cliffhanger we get for a movie that we're going to be waiting quite a long time for.
Yeah.
Definitely a great pick. One of the best of the year by far.
Yeah. Caleb?
Yeah, dude, I loved Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. It was so good. It just took everything that worked with the first one and just said, hey, we can do that, but even better.
Mm-hmm.
And they did. And, unfortunately, because of the strikes, we have to wait longer for Beyond, but hey, it's going to be well worth the wait.
Yeah.
The way they tease so much stuff, and like, Connor was saying, like, even with putting in all Spider-Man, not even that, they got to a point where they were putting in Spider-Man. I'm trying to say this without ruining it. Other Spider-Man forms of entertainment, if you will. In one case, and as it wasn't released at the time, thing that people were looking forward to, that is now out and was fucking awesome. That I have beat a couple weeks ago. So doing things like that was just so cool how they pulled it off, and then it gets paid back in a certain way for those who have a PlayStation. You know what I'm talking about. And
way to be subtle in your need to not spoil it, Caleb. Well, nobody knows what you're talking about.
You'd be surprised, unfortunately. Some people are like, what is he talking about? But no, the way they pulled this film off was like beyond amazing, and I'm so excited for Beyond. Whenever we get it,
I don't really care. I'm in.
Yeah, take your time. Take your time.
If it's that good, I'm cool. And if we could get Daniel Kaluuya back for Spider-Punk, that'd be great.
Oh man,
he's the best.
So good.
And also, I would like to say, on Oppenheimer, I did actually watch that one because I know I have voiced my opinion on Nolan quite a bit. I actually did watch Oppenheimer, because personally, like, I like him as a director.
He's a dickhead.
I think his head is quite up his ass in a lot of cases. I'm sorry, Adam. I was not a fan of Dunkirk myself. I was actually really bored by it, and I did not watch Tenet at all. But I remember seeing the trailer for that, going, you know what? I'll give this one a shot when it comes to streaming, because I know he made that big stink, which a part of him was right. A part of him was like, hey man, it's a pandemic. Like, people are not going to go see Tenet in theater. But when I did finally sit down and watch Oppenheimer at home, I was blown away. I was like, holy shit, this is good. Like, I was like, God damn, like Nolan, like, this is what I'm talking about. Like, your story told in a way that makes sense. You're not playing with nonlinearity too much here. Like, I liked how the take he kind of gets like hemmed up for by people a lot, having the music kind of overplay over the dialogue. I noticed that was dialed back a whole lot this time, and like everyone across the board was so good in it. The big moment when halfway through the film they tested, and the tension. It's not really spoiling because historical, and they put that scene in the trailer. But dude, that tension in that scene, we all know. I'm assuming we all know what's going to ultimately happen because we know our history. But even then, I'm like, I had a moment where I went, oh shit, is this going to work? I was like, wait, what do you?
Yeah.
Are they all gonna die? Yeah.
Yeah. Vinny Safdie, get out of the way.
I was like, I think you guys need to back up. This might go bad.
Well,
Yeah.
and then the silence, right? Of like them
Mm.
waiting for it is just so perfect. It's like,
Oh,
yeah, then just like waiting for it to like, and then just all like look up like in that wonder of just like, whoa, like what did we just do? And then him dealing with the like, what did I just create? You know, I mean, all of that was just so well done, I thought.
Yep. Yeah.
yeah, I seriously blown away by Oppenheimer. That was like, I was like, okay, Nolan, I'll give you credit. This was like really, really good.
Yeah. Good shit. Well, good way to segue into your own pick, Caleb. Go ahead.
It is, and I want to give a shout out to an action film that is not John Wick that came out this year. Connor will know what I'm talking about soon because I was adamant about showing him this movie, and that is Extraction 2.
Oh, hell yeah.
Look, okay, so first off, I'm gonna wait. It's on Netflix, even though it should be a theater release. It's on Netflix exclusive, until they decide to take it off for tax purposes. But
True. Yeah.
yeah, right. Look, so I was late to the Extraction game, right? When the first one came out, I was on deployment. So like any of these streamers, they kind of get that big bubble when they first come out, and then like no one fucking talks about them. So when the second one was coming out, I was like, well, let me watch the first one eventually. But then I kept hearing about the one take. That was the big thing when the second one came out. I was like, oh, you guys won't believe this one take. Oh, you won't believe it. It's so insane. So I watched the first one real quick, was blown away by the first movie when I finally watched it. And I remember seeing the one take in the first one going, well, how the hell are they going to top that? Like, it's a 12-minute thing in the first film, going from a car chase to a fight in a building to fighting on the streets. Like it, and I'm like, how are they going to top that? I put on the sequel because I'm like, well, let's watch Extraction, let's beat this up. Wow, look. What you've heard all year about that is true. 21 minutes. They could have pulled some tricks to edit it to make it look like that. I don't know. But either way, 21 uninterrupted minutes, one take action scene that involves car chasing, fucking, a train sequence, a prison break. Like, oh, dude, it gets insane. At one point, arm on fire, punching people. Like, let's go, Thor. Let's do this. Like, it's a truly insane scene. And the best part is, like, to me, what makes the sequel work really well, it's not even just that, but like that's the centerpiece. They take, again, they do what a sequel does, right? You take everything that works about the first film and do it better. And that's what this one does. The story was a little bit better. The action scenes outside of that one take were really good. You see in the trailers, he fights people in like a gym setting and uses the equipment to take them out. It's like, it's amazing. Because look, like outside of horror, I am just a sucker for old school kick-ass style action films. That's why I love the John Wick franchise. That's why I like martial arts films from overseas. Like the fight choreography is just when done well, is a beauty to behold on film. And this film does such a good job. I'm very excited. I know they announced Extraction 3. I'm very excited for that and how they're going to pull off topping themselves on the one take. I'm very curious on how they'll do that. But if you haven't seen this, they're both on Netflix. Watch them back to back. You will not regret.
Yeah. Damn.
Regret it at all.
I've seen the first one, but I need to check this out. I think the first one came out like right at the height of COVID, if I'm not mistaken, like in 2020. And I remember watching it just at home one day, and I was like, oh, this is fucking nuts. And yeah, it's definitely I'm with you. I definitely love action movies. Are when they're done well and they're don't take themselves too seriously, but also take the craft really seriously. I quite enjoy that. So yeah, which is something that I think we lack these days in a lot of movies. A lot of action movies will do one or the other. They'll take themselves too seriously, won't take the craft or the choreography seriously enough. So good shout out. I love that. Connor, have you seen this one?
I did when I went to see Caleb in Virginia.
There you go.
He made me watch both of these. And whenever I'm there, I just say, like, whatever, it's your TV, show me what you got. And we started with Extraction 1 and 2, and I was tired when we started Extraction 2. And as we watched, I got less tired, which is an unusual thing to happen in life. So that movie had some juice to it.
I imagine you like Alex in A Clockwork Orange, Malcolm McDowell, just eyes are just fucking.
That's pretty much what it's like when I'm at Caleb's place. Like whatever happens, if it's some weird Thai horror movie no one's ever talked about, or if it's some like classic that I just missed, it's me just sitting there till like 5 a.m, just like
Your
this is
fucking
crazy.
hands are taped down, and Caleb was putting popcorn in your mouth. Like, yeah, motherfucker,
Stay
take it
away.
in. You can't go to sleep. I love that. That's great.
No.
No, I need to see this. I remember Adam, I believe our dad, I believe talked about this briefly because this came out like in the summer. I remember him being like, "Oh yeah, it's actually like a quality, good action film." So I'd love to give it a whirl. I liked the first one, so why not?
Yeah, I saw the first one as well, and this is on my list right now. Extraction 2 is on my list on Netflix, so I very much plan on seeing it as well. Extraction 2 was pandemic, right? Is that what you said, Austin?
What?
Well, that came out during the pandemic, right?
The first one? Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was like at the height of
Yeah,
everything. Yeah,
I remember needing
which
something
is like
that.
we fucking needed those things.
We did. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Like I remember like for me like the thing that stands out the most is the Last Dance, the Bulls documentary, because
Yeah.
it came out like in whatever May and June. So you're just like, I need like quality content, but I can't go to the theater. So like I need something like legit to watch at home. And then like The Last Dance and other movies that came out on streaming were just kind of like that's what became like pop culture for the COVID year. So pretty cool. And it's you gotta hold on to those things.
Yeah, and like I think like Conference are right. When you get to that one take in the second film, man, like because you watch the one take in the first one, like that's really neat how they pulled that off. It looks really cool. If you're tired like Connor was, you get to that one take, you're going to wake up because you're gonna be like, how, what, how are they typing? How are we going bigger than this? What the? You just keep doing that because they just keep going.
Mm.
"Okay, you think we're going to stop here? No. We're still going. Oh,
Yeah,
you think we're
fuck.
stopping
I
here?
want to watch
No,
this right
no. We're gonna
now.
keep
Damn.
going.
I'm gonna commit to trying to knock this out this upcoming week. I might rewatch because I haven't seen the other one since 3 years now, so I might watch them back to back or something, or back to back nights. So yeah, I'm amped up for this now.
Yeah,
I love a good action movie, especially just it's one of my like things I like to do like on my own time. Own time. I can just kind of turn off and try to get away from reality. That's the whole point, right? So, good shout. You have a couple sequels on your list so far. Saw 10 and Extraction 2. All right. Connor, next pick.
So my number one of the year is Safe. I don't think you guys have seen it. So I'm gonna save that for I'm confident enough that I'm gonna save it for the last pick. So I'm gonna go. I know.
Bold
Yeah.
move, Cotton.
Yeah, it's a bold move. I love that though.
F and A. All right. I'm gonna
ESPN ain't the Ocho.
So I knew this next movie I'm going to choose. I knew it was going to be odd. I knew this was going to be weird. When you know a film's going to be confusing and strange, and you can just kind of go with that, then the experience is a lot better for somebody like me who likes narrative structure and answers. But I didn't get answers with this, and you know what? I was okay, and that is Dream Scenario.
Oh yeah, I can't wait to watch this.
This film was so bizarre, but so entertaining. One of Nicolas Cage's best performances in his entire career. This was something he committed to, playing like the most pathetic, saddest little man who is suddenly the most famous person on the planet for something that's completely out of his control. And it's a movie largely about cancel culture and the nature of celebrity in today's society. And I thought it was just a brilliant approach to that. Basically, like if you saw the trailer, Cage is a art professor who all of a sudden out of nowhere, everyone on Earth starts seeing him in their dreams. And he doesn't know why. They don't know why. He becomes an overnight celebrity. But then as the dreams start kind of getting a little darker, people start treating him differently. And he can't do anything about that, but things just start getting crazier and crazier and crazier. And it's never boring. And you're just engaged the whole time. There's one of the most pathetic sex scenes I've ever seen in a movie in this film. It was so awkward and just like, oh, like you weren't disgusted. You were more just like, go home, man. Like, just stop it. It's so sad.
Back it up.
So yeah, I recommend this highly. Right now it's available to rent on Prime, Vudu, VOD. But I'm glad I got to see this in theaters because I was just like mesmerized by how different this was,
Hmm.
and I loved that. And yeah, I hope Cage. I think he's had a pretty good year. He's been in some stinkers this year, but this one was a really good one for him. And I just I follow this guy almost like he's like I'm in a cult. So I'm willing to just see whatever he does. I'm on board.
Yeah, and you get rewarded, man. Every now and again, you're like, oh fuck, you get a pig, you get a dream scenario. So yeah,
Mhm.
no, you had me at Cage. I can't wait to see this. This is definitely high up on my list of things I'll try to get to. I'll try to rent or maybe wait for it to come on something. So, yeah, I can't wait. Are you the only one who's seen it?
I think so.
I haven't had a chance to see it yet.
Yeah, you could have saved this for your last pick. Shit.
I could have, but there's something else I want.
Yeah, there's something else you want for your last pick.
Yeah.
I love that you have it planned out like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is how it's gonna go. If it gets ruined, you're fucked. Yeah. I'm sure Caleb, Adam, all three of us are probably ready, wanting to see this one. The I didn't watch the trailer, but like from the aesthetic of the poster and just pictures I've seen, it looks really cool.
It's weirdly funny. It's kind of scary at times. It's a big genre mixer, and then it just turns into a full blown like what the fuck is going on kind of movie in the second half, and I was just floored. This definitely up your alley.
Yeah. God, I can't wait. Damn. Well, this draft has been really interesting. Just a quick recap. Adam has Oppenheimer and Across the Spider-Verse. Connor has Saw X and Extraction 2. Did I say Connor? Sorry, Caleb. Connor has Godzilla -1 and Dream Scenario. I have Past Lives, and now I have two picks in a row. I know. A way I'm going to go with one of them, but the other one I'm having a hard time. I really want to pick movies that like I really want to like recommend, and I think that's kind of what we're all trying to do here. Is build a list of things that are worthwhile. You want people to see, so I'll continue doing that. My probably my second or third favorite movie. I can save one of my top threes for later because I know no one's seen it. I'll save that for my last pick. But here, I definitely want to shout out Sean Durkin's The Iron Claw. That's pretty. It's a hard one for me to talk about, so I won't really say much, especially with my brother like in sight. It's like it's one of those I don't really. It's hard for me to conjure up my feelings about it. Just was like weeping at one point in the theater. So great experience seeing that movie. I thought it was taken care of really well. I thought it was handled with a lot of sincerity, and performances were great. The wrestling scenes fucking ruled. The needle drops were on point. When you hear Tom Sawyer, you're like, oh man, I'm ready. Like I'm ready to wrestle. So everything really clicked for me. It really worked. Seeing it in theaters was neat. So yeah, I really don't. I have a hard time like moving forward from there. I'll say the other movie, and then you guys can chime in. The other one I'm gonna pick is to me one of the strongest films of the year. Not for everybody, certainly. It's got a very, very slow pace to it at times. It's about 2.5 hours, and it's a lot of it's in French, so a lot of people are gonna have a hard time, getting through that. But Anatomy of a Fall is just that to me. I texted Connor when I watched that. It's kind of looking at every other movie from the year and being like, hold my beer, bitch. Like move out of the way. This is how you make films. It's one of those kind of snobby at times, just kind of like I mean, like it knows how good it is. And for some people that's off-putting. For me, I'm like, fucking feed me all day. I loved it. I thought it was great. I'm definitely gonna revisit it. Probably before it wins the Oscar for best international feature film, because I really think it's going to do some damage. I'm really excited for it, and it's up for rental right now. Iron Claw, I believe, is only in theaters, so those two are kind of they're not like technically available anywhere for free. So you got to kind of go out of your way. Connor rented it on Vudu. I watched it the next night, and I was like, holy hell, this is sick. So those two, I definitely want on my list, and I want to go to bat for.
Nice. Yeah, when I saw the Iron Claw, all I could think of was this is going to destroy Austin. Like so much about just brotherhood and the strength of that bond. And I just knew you were gonna fall for that movie in seconds. And it is an amazing film and such a brutal, tragic story. Um, Definitely go see it if you have the chance. It's brilliant.
Yeah, so we saw it together, so we weren't sitting together. So
Thank God.
yeah.
Fuck.
so Austin was with Bree. We had been hanging out for Boxing Day, day after Christmas, and um Isaiah and I, one of our other brothers, was up. We were like up further up in the theater, and after it ended, yeah, I kind of walked down the set. We just kind of like sat there. Isaiah and I kind of sat there because it's such a tough ending. And yeah, it is about brotherhood. I mean, the movie is about brothers. Like that's like I mean, among other things too, but like obsession and what drives you, and parenthood too. I mean, obviously that's a huge element of it, but no, it's mainly about brothers. And so yeah, I remember walking down the steps and looking over at Austin. I'm like, oh, yep, he's definitely feeling it, and we were too. And so I kind of just like hit him on the shoulder, sat there for a second. I was like, yeah, man, yeah, me too. It definitely hits hard, and the performances are great. Harris Dickinson, man,
God.
dude's a star. He's a star.
Yeah. Oh, God, I wanted more, man. I
Yeah.
wanted more. Yeah, that's one you definitely don't want to spoil for people who don't know the story about the Von Erichs.
Which I did not.
Yeah, so like I
Neither.
knew what was coming, and but it still kind of tricks you at times. You're like, all right, like wrestling, baby, and then you're like, oh fuck. I mean, it just flips. It just flips completely, like pretty much halfway through. You're like, oh man, they're gonna show that. Oh boy, and they left. They even had to leave a major thing out because they're like, the movie would be too fucked up if you included this other thing that happened.
Yeah.
So that's crazy, right? So yeah, I feel like a lot of movies are like don't quite get what it means to have brothers. Like they don't quite capture that. But this, I felt like, I mean, just totally nailed like what it actually means and like the indescribable thing that's like between you, where like you don't have to talk about it. It's there. But like when it does come up, you're like, oh man, like this is really important, and like I feel like a lot of movies are not sincere enough about that stuff. So I was really appreciative of that. Caleb, have you gotten a chance to see Iron Claw?
I have not. At first I won't.
You're gonna fucking love it, dude. Oh
Yeah,
man.
so it's fine. At first, when I heard about him, like, look, I like Zac Efron a lot. I like Holt McCallany a lot. I was like, it's a wrestling movie. I'm not big into wrestling. Why do I care? But then, when I started hearing more about it, people were watching. They're going like, no, 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 you got to see this.
Yeah.
And I was looking and seeing what people were saying. I was like, okay, this does actually sound like something I'd probably really enjoy. Um, I, I'm going to wait for streaming mostly because if it's as emotional as people are saying, I need to be by myself for the privacy of my own emotions. um, but I'm really looking forward to this. I've heard it's really good. I'm very happy to hear the buzz happening around Zac Efron. I've always liked that dude. And I keep hearing really good things. I heard he is phenomenal.
Yeah.
Especially
Yeah.
at the end. Apparently he has like a big scene at the end that people were like, I keep hearing they're like getting broken by
Yeah.
whatever speech he has. So I'm very much wanting to see this. I really want to see this movie now. It's like it shot up my radar quite a bit.
Yeah. Yeah. And then we haven't mentioned Jeremy Allen White, but he like makes me question. He like makes me question my sexuality at times. Like I'm like, oh my God, this guy. Oof. He's so fucking easy to watch. Of course, he's amazing in The Bear. And he's been, TV show Shameless as well. And it's cool that he's like gaining steam right now. It's like, oh man, like people are starting to understand this guy's a freak, and he is so good as Carrie Von Erich. So yeah, everyone's great. That's the thing is
Yeah,
everyone does their job.
James.
Everyone, Lily
is
James is awesome. Yeah, some of the best scenes are between
More
her,
Tierney.
her now. Yeah. Oh, Tierney, man, she had a job and a half in that movie. Yeah, it's great. It's really good stuff. Anatomy of a Fall. We don't need, only Connor and I believe have seen it. It is a like the definition of like a drama. It's written and directed by Justine Triet. But Sandra Huller is like, holy fuck, she's good in it. She really carries the movie. And yeah, it's one of those where like something crazy happens at the beginning and the rest of the movie is about the aftermath of that one thing. And I love when movies nail that kind of that plot line. So I'm really into Before we get to Connor's next pick, I want to take a quick break and we'll get back to it. All right, Connor, we're back with you. Third pick. So far, you got -1 in Dream Scenario.
Life is like a henhouse ladder, shitty and short. Give me the holdovers.
Yes, let's go, baby. A Barton man. Come on. Yes,
Oh my
I love this movie, dude.
Paul Giamatti's finest hour. I was stunned by this just beautiful movie about just like being stuck in the rut of life, but having the realization to know that you're stuck in a rut in life. Like I love that. And it was a great setting, great character study, dramedy. Like just I fucking love Alexander Payne. Like
Dude,
the stuff he comes out with, like that guy just taps into that beautiful midpoint between comedy and drama and nailed it every fucking time. Yeah, enough said. This movie's amazing. Go watch it. It's on Peacock right now.
Yeah, Holdovers. This movie blew my mind. I watched it like not that long, maybe a week ago. Fuck, man. I was just up like fucking late. It was like 2 a.m. I was like, man, I need more movies like this. This is the sweet spot. The sweet spot of, like you said, the comedy drama and just the fucking like the stuff that makes like people, the stuff that like hold like this is like the cloth, this is the material right here. This is who real people are. Oh fuck, man. I was obsessed right from the get-go when like, that one kid is like, where are my fucking cigarettes? he's like, are we wearing fucking panties? He's, yeah, they're your mom's after I fucked her. Just like that like banter. And I was like, oh, I'm in. And then they show Paul Giamatti and just the way he operates and how like kind of like stuck up, his nose up in the air. And then he kind of like slowly comes down and comes down. Man, this movie's good. Like the most underrated gem of the year for sure.
For me, it was when the kid was like, Professor, I can't fail this class. And he's like, don't sell yourself short. I believe you can.
Great line.
No, Giamatti's amazing. And I actually saw it. He was on Mark Maron's podcast this week, and I listened to it today.
Nice.
Man, yeah. If you guys care about him at all, it's well worth it.
I will.
I will definitely. Yeah. It's also Mark Maron's 1500th episode. Amazing, but
Jesus,
yeah, really incredible.
And they're like all amazing.
yeah, he's so good. Yeah, it's fantastic. But saw this in theaters recently. It was my number 6 for the year. I mean, I certainly would have taken this, Connor, had you not. So no, I'm really glad you took it. And we got to shout out Dominic Sessa and Divine Joy Randolph, the other 2 stars of the movie.
Yeah,
excellent. They're excellent. And Dominic
Sessa, first
thing he's ever been in. He's never been in anything. He's never done any acting at all.
And he already has that like what like who are you like his voice is like that annoying, but like you can't get enough of it, and like his face is so distinct. You're like this, like you're already like going to be like a character actor, like a star in that field. I was blown away by him. So great show.
Casting director nailed it. And Divine Joy Randolph is awesome.
Oh yeah,
is the heart of the movie.
Story is so just hauntingly beautiful. The way he just has to deal with like the worst tragedy a mother can deal with, but also having to kind of be, the matriarch of this whole situation. Like somebody's got to be an adult here.
Yeah. What is this is just like a throwaway scene, but there's that younger kid before like they all go off and it's just them or whatever. That one dickhead kid like grabs something. He's like, that's for being Mormon.
Yeah. I love the group of like 4 or 5 of them that did get left over before those other ones leave to go to like, the helicopter or whatever. The like jock kid with like the long hair, like he's hilarious. I love that kid. I hope he's yeah, he's really good. And the small like Korean boy, he's so funny. Yeah. The casting. I mean, they nailed the casting, and yeah, I think you're right, Connor. Giamatti. I mean, yeah, I could certainly see him, getting some acclaim for this. He's going to get nominated for every award possible. So, really happy for him.
Yeah, and the sweetest choice to me is the the care that it has with the characters for sure, but placing it in 1970, like before 1971, is like chef's kiss. Like they just nailed every little thing about that time period, and just when you get stuck in somewhere, like that's where you are, like you're stuck. I recently saw a video of this guy, unrelated to any of these movies. He was like, he's a lot of these kids that like kids now, whether they're doing it on TikTok or Instagram, whatever it is, are obsessed with like nostalgia and these different things, different eras, 70s, 80s, 90s. He's like, try going back to that time and wait for the bus and have nothing to look at but your fucking shoes.
Yeah.
He's like, I did it. He's like, and it's not fun.
I saw
And,
this video. It's very good. Yeah.
Yeah, and like I love that because it was like, oh, that's so interesting to think about. The way like I think about movies is definitely I love pre-cell phone, pre-internet era movies because it just forces you to like take action and like sometimes also just be bored and like have to deal with the boredom. And I feel like this movie, the decisions they make when they're bored is brilliant. So yeah, I'm kind of pissed I didn't take this because like I thought I'd be able to get it with my fourth pick, and now I'm like, fuck, I love this movie.
This is awesome. I've needled all three of you with my picks. This is great.
Yeah, you really got me in, got me there. Yeah, so good pick.
Ah, nice.
Yeah, Caleb, you're next, so we can stop talking about the holdovers because it is available on Peacock.
I know. I look. This is my only trepidation is that I don't have a great history with dramedies. I usually walk away unsatisfied, so I'm just like, do I take this chance? You know, it's a personal thing. I know. I'm aware. It's not the movie's fault.
Take the plunge, man. Do it.
Yeah.
It's good. It's good stuff. Great
Okay.
soundtrack too. Shit.
Okay, man. Hey, it's on Peacock, and I use Josh's Peacock anyway, so
There you go.
maybe I'll give it a shot. Don't worry, I'm going to take someone that I'm sure no one else will take. I will keep the theme that I have going because my next pick is an original film. But it's horror. Don't worry. And that is Talk to Me.
I was wondering when this was going to show up.
Oh, I was like, no one took it, and I'm taking it. This was we were talking about during the break, like, this seems to be a decade where we're starting to see some new voices. When I first heard about this film, and I heard that it's being directed by YouTubers, I was very skeptical. I'm like, YouTubers making a movie. Okay, this is the depths we're going to now. Boy, did I get like slapped across the face at the end of this film for even thinking that. This was a wonderful feature debut from I believe it's pronounced Filipino brothers. Their YouTube channel for anyone that cares is Raka Raka. As far as real quick, I think this is still just VOD. As far as I'm aware, it's not on any of the things.
Yeah, I can't. It's gonna make a killing. Whatever it goes on is gonna get popular fast.
Oh, real quick, this took me by complete surprise. Look, I don't want to talk about this film too much, but Exorcist Believer proved that we don't really know what to do with the possession exorcism subgenre in horror still. Like, we rely on the same old tropes. This film came out and said, no, this is something you can do different with it. The idea of like you're talking to the dead and using this hand to communicate with them, but you have to follow these rules or it goes south really quick. And using it, I love how they used it as like the hand was like a metaphor at least in the beginning of the film for drug usage. And how they almost treat it like kids at a party when it comes to drugs and alcohol, and it's a fun thing and they don't care and they're just having this great time with it until things go south, until things go bad, and now it's, oh shit, we gotta deal with this. The scares are some of the best, because again, it's not cheap jump scare, Blumhouse type of scares. I only say them so like one of the biggest American horror companies right now. It's like legit, trying to unsettle you, trying to freak you out. And when this film gets violent, oh, dude, okay, I'm not going to spoil it, but when it gets to like a turning point and we get to like quite a scene with one of the characters. Holy shit, the sound effects, what they choose to show you, what they don't choose to show you. Wow, I was like cringing. I've seen a lot of horror films. I was like, ooh, please stop with that sound effect. That was painful. Oh god. This was really good. If you're, one of me, I hear it all the time in all the horror circles, like, there's nothing original come now. It's just sequels and remakes and blah blah blah, right? Here it is. This is
Here you go.
original
Yeah.
film. Like, it's right here. check it out. This was such a good movie. Showed you that there is something you can do with the, possession exorcism subgenre if you just give a shit and, try. I can't recommend this one enough. It was so good.
Yeah, I love everything you said about that. This is one of those things where it's like, shut up, look at the right place, and watch it and embrace it. It's right here, right in front of your face. Yeah, I can't wait for this to. I feel like it's going to become a phenomenon. I think it kind of was for a minute, but I feel like it's built to be on a streaming service and just dominate, and people are going to watch this and watch it with friends and that whole thing where you're kind of like, oh, freaking out together. I think it's going to become kind of a staple of the 2020s for horror.
Yeah, absolutely. This scared the absolute hell out of me. I was blown away. This was so creepy, so unnerving, so well constructed, and there's like the second half of the movie is just nightmare fuel, like with no end in sight. And I was stunned. I'm so glad this turned out to be the film it was.
Yeah.
I really want to see this. It's Australian guys, right? Two Australian guys that the
Yeah,
YouTubers.
two other YouTube channels called Raka Raka.
Okay.
Yeah, it's two Australian guys. Apparently they had like other scripts. I was like listening to them on a podcast, that they were trying to get that didn't take off, but they had this one kind of just sitting around that they had written, didn't think was very good. So they approached it again and they were like, let's just clean it up a bit. And it's the one that took off. And apparently it was so good that A24 approached them. They're like, hey, we really want you guys to make this movie.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I gotta say, man, I've seen it on some kind of hipster list for performances. Sophie Wilde, man, holy hell, she's good. Like, look out for this girl. I think she's incredible.
The scene when and I promise this isn't a spoiler, but like there's a part where like when they're having fun with it, right? And she has multiple like things possess her, and she is switching seamlessly
Yeah,
between
crazy.
these different entities that are taking over her body on a dime. Like it is something else. It is amazing to watch.
Yeah,
No,
yeah,
I
man.
want to
Look
see
out.
what's it on right now?
It's you have to rent it.
Okay, I'll wait.
Blu-ray. It's on Blu-ray.
Yeah, and look, I will say, like, yeah, physical media. This
Just buy it. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's VOD still right now, unfortunately. So
Yeah.
you still gotta rent it. But I will say, like, after this, like I said with the YouTube comment, like, bring it on. If this brings in a new fresh voices to just film in general. I know there's another YouTuber making a horror film that isn't dated yet. And Markiplier is apparently doing a video game adaptation. So it's happening. We're seeing the switch, and after seeing what these two could pull off, like, hey, bring it. I'm excited for anything they do now, and I'm excited for whatever other YouTubers decide to make this leap, because it fucking paid off with this movie.
Yeah, great. Yeah, it's exciting, man. It's exciting. These guys are like 30 years old. These brothers. So yeah, it's good stuff. I'm pumped to see what else happens out of it. And I can't wait for it to. I think there's a lot of people very interested in it that are just kind of waiting for that. Is it going to be on Showtime or Hulu or Max or whatever, and they're going to pounce on it right away? Because you know what else, the part we haven't mentioned yet, it's about an hour and 30 minutes. Perfect. Like, I can just watch it. I can watch it. It's not going to take my whole night. I can knock it out, be freaked out, and be like, "Holy shit, that was really good," and move on. It's not going to take up everything. So yeah, Adam, this is right up your alley. You're going to really respond to it for sure. It's freaky, but it's a well done film with good characters. So yeah, great shout. Segue into Adam, 2 picks.
All right, I think it would be a little bit strategic with one of these because I don't think anyone else has seen it. Can I ask that? Is that fair? I don't think anyone else has seen it. Austin, it involves a performer that we were talking about just last night with Jeremy.
Connor has
seen it. Okay.
and Connor really liked it. So
Okay. I got to pick it now then. Okay, give me 4 things.
Oh yeah.
By Yorgos Lanthimos, the Greek god himself. I saw this like, I don't know, maybe a week ago in theaters, and I told Austin last night, I said, I think Emma Stone is my favorite, like, in her prime screen actor of any kind right now. I love her so much, and I think this was just like a perfect use of her. Where it's so weird. It's funny. It's legitimately funny. Like, I mean, I'm laughing. I laughed out loud like multiple times, and this movie, like more than like most comedies. And I think it probably technically is a comedy, but it also like has a real like heart to it, has a real depth to it, a real like moral quandary to it. You know what I mean? Like I think that's a big part of the movie too. Willem Dafoe is awesome as God, the
Yeah.
God, the scientist that creates her. Don't want to spoil too much. I mean, it's really good. Rami Youssef, really solid performance from him. Really cool that he's getting a chance in some of these movies. But and then Mark Ruffalo as this just like absurd. I don't even know what to call him character, but it's only in theaters right now. So and it's not like limited a little bit still. So yeah, I go with Poor Things. What do you think of it, Connor?
But it was astonishing. I was from start to finish. I was just blown away by just the absurdity of this story. I mean, only Yorgos could do something like that and get away with it. I loved Ruffalo was my favorite character. He was such a piece of shit, just an absolute
Hilarious.
scumbag who like falls for his own con in a way, and it's so
Yes.
bizarre. And I love the character growth of
Bella.
Bella. Thank you. I wanted to say Mia, but I knew that wasn't right. Yeah, of Bella just learning about the world and life and emotions and just every aspect of living. And that was very heartfelt, and I liked that. And then, yeah, it's insane and hard to explain to somebody who hasn't seen it. Definitely, yeah, when you have the opportunity, go check this out.
Yeah, it's also
God.
it's also very feminist, which is it takes a really cool angle. It's a cool angle to approach that.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's been the only like small group of people like on Letterboxd and everything that are like that has like backlash is like against that aspect. So I can't wait to see this for like that reason as well, to kind of like, you know, have my own mind into it. Yeah,
Against it in what way?
against from what I've read, I mean, I haven't seen it, so I can't really like, you know, say like, oh, is this true or not, or whatever. But very much like a lot of women who are like, oh, like you think because this character does X, Y, and Z that she's a feminist or that it's a movie about feminism. So I don't know because I haven't seen it. I want to like throw my hat into the ring, you know what I mean, and kind of like participate in that conversation. But also I'm just obsessed with Yorgos. So I'm like one of the only people that I know that's seen Canetta. Like, I don't know many people who have sat through Canetta, which is like a nothing movie, his debut that like a lot of people just fucking hate. But I sat through it because I love him, so I can't wait to watch this movie. This is the other one I was alluding to earlier, and I was like, I figured one of you guys was gonna pick it because I know I've talked to both of you individually about Poor Things, so I figured one of y'all was gonna take it. And yeah, Adam, I remember you responded to it for sure. You like double featured that with something that day.
I did.
Like Wonka or something.
Yeah. I did like a really random.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I did 3 double features in like a 10-day stretch.
Yeah.
And
I
yeah,
remember.
yeah, I saw 7 movies in like and then we saw Iron Claw on Boxing Day. So yeah, that was mixed in there as well. But yeah, so I saw 7 in like a 2-week stretch, and I'm trying to remember which one was the second one with.
Oh, you know what it was? It was that fucking Glenn Powell and
Oh, Anyone But You. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, it was
Classic. Are you gonna pick that? Sorry, did I step on?
No, I'm not.
I'm joking.
No, but a bunch of the
Screw off,
girls.
I'm joking.
A bunch of the girls I coached saw that the other day, and we had a discussion about it on the bus.
Yeah, I probably won't watch that. Like maybe like 10 years from now when I'm like, oh yeah, Glenn Powell.
Yeah. Yeah.
I love Glenn Powell. I love Glenn
he's
Powell,
great.
but I don't know.
That's fine.
I mean, if you have the time, why not? Right? You know.
I think this next pick here, I think I can save another one I want to the end.
Tough.
I think I'm only bidding against one person on my other one that I want. So I'll save it. Okay, for this next pick, give me Blackberry.
Right on.
Yeah, Connor, we did it.
Good shit.
We did a first thoughts about this, didn't we?
You did.
And
Yeah,
I loved it, and honestly, the further away I get from it, the more I like it.
I think this is streaming now on something.
AMC Plus.
Okay. I mean, that's, you know, not a
There's
super
also,
well-known
like,
thing, but
they're also like billing it as like a limited series, which I don't
Yes,
get.
it's in
Yeah.
3 parts. Yeah, really weird.
I noticed that and I was like,
Not
is
a
this
long
separate?
movie.
Yeah, but
No,
okay.
it's not. Yeah.
So,
It's
but
like,
I looked at it. In each episode, there's 3, and they're all like 45 minutes. I'm like, that's not right.
yeah.
This movie's not over 2 hours, is
Maybe
it?
it's like
Yeah,
a
it must be.
director's cut kind of thing.
Maybe.
No,
Oh, so I guess 40.
no,
I guess
it's over
that's.
2
I
hours.
guess that's right.
Yeah.
2:15.
Yeah.
Yeah, it makes sense. Yeah.
No, because I did the math on it. I was like, oh, is there like more in this? Like, do I need to watch this? Because like there's more stuff in it. But no,
Yeah.
because I did an AMC Plus free trial because I was trying to watch Little Drummer Girl, this old like mini series that Florence Pugh was in a few
So
years back,
good.
and yeah, it was great. But yeah, long story. But I was looking this up. I was like, why is this? I was like, is there more time? And so I did the math, and it's equal to the length of the movie. So
Do you think that they were like more people watch it if it's a mini series?
yes, I think that was strategic.
That's so
don't-
fucking sad.
I don't
Yeah.
like that at all.
God, that like like gets under my skin. Like,
No,
that's like my whole thing is like, oh, it's 3 hours. Like, but you watch a fucking season of TV in one night. Like,
yes, you'll want to watch like
Yeah.
8 episodes of something. Yes, it's so weird.
I can't handle that. It's a lot of young people who are like, yeah, but like, there's a conclusion to each one. No, there isn't. It's all the same
Yeah.
fucking story.
Friday, we had full-length movies and we sat through the whole thing. Damn it!
yeah, we're like becoming old. That's like our old thing is like, oh yeah, we used to watch Lord of the Rings extended edition in one night. Fuck, man. Give me cancer now, God.
Well, Blackberry. Yeah, what'd you think?
Blackberry's awesome. It's so good. I like I had no business being as good as it is. Glenn Howerton is incredible. As this like hothead, like
As you'd expect.
Who just it's such a kind of like simple story. I mean, it's just a story of how Blackberry rose to prominence and then fell incredibly quickly to basically nothing. And then
But-
we had Jay Baruchel as the CEO of Blackberry is fantastic. It's really solid. Austin, you saw it, right?
Yeah, I've seen it since. But Brick Breaker though, sick game.
Oh, so good, so good.
Yeah, no, Glenn is like my guy. Especially after that Blackberry and then his appearance in Welcome to Wrexham. I was like, I already loved you, but now I like really, really love you, and like you got some talent, some other kind of talent, not just that wild comedic tone that you have in It's Always Sunny. So, but he shows that like freak out, like
Yeah.
So yeah, good shot. I figured there's two like dramedy, I don't know, comedy stuff that like I thought you were like battling with in your head.
Yeah.
I wonder. I know Connor liked that one too, but I just feel like Connor's not going to pick it. So
that was the strategy.
we'll see. Yeah,
we'll see how it plays out. But
Yeah,
I have a
good
backup
shit.
pick in case. So yeah, but I'm happy with
Okay.
it. Yeah. Support things
Yeah,
in
right.
Blackberry.
yeah, I love that double feature. That is too,
Yeah.
see that's like you show some random person those two movies and be like, see, movies are fun. Yeah, like you can get a variation of different kinds of stuff. So good shit. Caleb, your next pick.
All right. I'm gonna go. I told myself I was gonna go outside of horror and just really do it, and I can't help myself. It's very difficult for me to break this. I'm gonna go one that I think in this case I might be the only one that's seen it. But it's this film called The Outwaters.
Yeah.
It got a little festival run like 2022, but it went wide on Screenbox this year around the same time Skin and Rink came out, or around that time period. It's much more of the liminal horror type of thing where yes, it's found footage. It has a bare bones story to get it going, like what's going on, and then it's just assaulting you with just what the fuck is going on imagery and like stuff happening to these characters. And it's up to you if you're going to be like kind of side, are they going through hell? Like what the hell's going on here? I gave it a shot after seeing through Skin and Rink, and I remember seeing through Skin and Rink, being like, okay, I see why this is divisive. Not totally for me, but I also don't hate it. I was like, but and this is on Screenbox, which Blaze Disgusting, a website, owns. I remember they were really promoting it after Terrifier 2, and that's actually when they promoted the trailer, was when Terrifier 2 came out. And they were like, hey guys, you want to see it? So I was like, okay, let me give it a shot. I'll give it a shot. I gave it a shot, and I don't know if it was like the imagery or the sound or what, but it was the one horror film the whole entire year that actually got under my skin and freaks me out a little bit. Like by the end of it, I was kind of like literally kind of like on edge a little bit, like what's going on? Because the film does not care to say like, hey, this is what's happening. It just goes, look at this cool shit. Ready? And you just go with it or you don't. But if you're into this weird niche kind of like liminal horror thing, as it's kind of being called, subgenre that's kind of coming up now. I mean, and it's a better subgenre than the public domain subgenre that is fucking abhorrent. That was a Winnie the Pooh reference. I did sit through that horror film. Um, but if you're into this, like, give it a shot. It's on Screenbox. It's gonna be 50-50 on what you think of it. I really fucking enjoyed it, really liked it, thought it was doing something different and cool. I picked up, the Blu-ray of it, so I really enjoyed it.
Okay. Is this if I looked it up, is this movie directed by Robbie Banfitch? Okay. I was looking it up because I wanna try to remember this one. It looks
It's
I
also
like
on
the poster
Tubi.
a lot.
It's on Tubi as
Oh.
well.
Oh, sweet. That all right. Tubi's I feel like Tubi because it's free, right? It's like gotten like more
Yeah.
people use it. Yeah. All
Mhm.
right. Good to
Yeah.
hear. Yeah, I love a kind of out there icy horror thriller sci-fi. So yeah, I'm in.
Oh yeah, it's I think almost 2 hours long. It's about an hour 50. It kind of tricks you. It lulls you because at first it gives you obviously a lot of like these are our characters. This is what they're again that bare bones story to get it going. So you're like, oh okay, what's everyone talking about? There's plenty of story happening, and then it gets into like the horrific stuff, and you're like, oh, this is why people are getting divided. I fell in the
Okay.
vein of loving it. I personally was really on board, and it became one of my favorite films of like the entire year.
Sweet. All right. I love that. That's a good shout out. I don't think there's many people who know about this one, and myself included. So I'm excited to try to check this one out. Connor, have you seen this?
No, but I remember Caleb telling me about this, and I wanted to check it out, but when he told me about this, I don't think it was very readily available. I don't have Screenbox. But he compared it to Skinamarink, and I saw Skinamarink in theaters last year on my birthday with Colton, and watching him unravel like a little child was amazing because that scared the ever loving shit out of him. And I was kind of just like, what is this? Why is it
Skinamarink?
suffering? Yeah. Colton took
Colton?
that. He was like cowering. He was shivering. He was going like, no, no. And I was watching him more than I was watching Skinamarink. And I was like, dude, are you all
Yeah, this is great.
yeah, so that's a fond memory. I thought the movie was okay. I watched a video kind of explaining what it might mean, and that helped. But yeah, the experience of just watching one of my, one of my close friends just kind of fall apart was was memorable.
That's hilarious. I can picture it. Yeah.
And I'll say, like in Skinamarink, that scene when like they in the bedroom with the parents that may not be their parents, that got under my skin. I was like, this is creepy. Don't I stop it. I was like, stop
It's
it.
a vibe. It's a vibe for sure. Definitely got a vibe to it. But yeah, I thought it was fine. I just didn't. I don't know. Maybe I need to rewatch because I have a couple friends who are like, "Oh, this movie rules!" Like you have, like you. I love this one. I'm like, maybe I need to see it again. I don't know. It happens.
I wouldn't want to watch it high, but yeah.
Okay, so the two guys that I'm talking about definitely were like, I'm like, yeah. That's great. I wouldn't watch it high. Great. That's a recommendation from Connor. Don't watch Skinamarink stoned. Just
You do
anything.
But then, you know what? Same with the Outwaters. You may not want to experience stone.
Just go in sober. That's great. Connor, your fourth pick.
So I'm gonna stray off my usual path here and do a first. I'm going to choose a documentary.
I was hoping I'd be the only one who did that. Maybe not now.
Nah, I've you've changed me, man. You've changed me. I have so much respect and admiration for Michael J. Fox.
Oh yeah, this makes sense. Yeah.
And this year he released a film chronicling his career and diagnosis and post-diagnosis career. And using footage from his movies, they were able to insert him into a narrative structure about his, like, how, finding out that, at the height of your career, like, you're the most famous man in America, and you are told by a doctor there's a ticking clock. And how do you handle something like that? And this movie is still a Michael J. Fox movie, available exclusively on Apple TV Plus, and it is a roller coaster of emotion, especially if you're a fan. And I'm a lifelong fan of this guy. And just hearing him talk about all the struggles he's been through, with not pity, not regret, but with a pep, because he lived life his way despite the cards he was dealt, and he doesn't have any regrets. And that's an amazing thing to look at. And just, there's a moment where he kind of he breaks a little bit when he kind of talks about the way people have viewed his work and told him that he has influenced their lives and helped their lives, and he the last thing he ever wants to do is let them down. That broke me, because I'm one of those guys. Like, I'm one of those guys who's grew up with his work and has always kind of taken lessons from his work. And just knowing that he didn't, like, it wasn't his decision for this to happen, but he took it like a champ and didn't let it define who he was. I think everybody should watch this documentary. It's beautiful and emotional and powerful and just optimistic.
Yeah, I remember you texted me not too long ago when you were watching it. Just kind of like a bit speechless through text message. So yeah, I'm definitely on my radar now. More so after I had already thought about it, but I this, aside from this doc, I don't ever go on Apple TV Plus.
Yeah.
Like, it's weird, man. We have all these things, and sometimes some of them fall by the wayside just because you like, oh, I'm gonna go straight to Max, or I'm gonna go straight to whatever blank. I feel like Apple TV Plus, I'm not sure what it is, and they've released things that I really enjoy. Especially, there's been a few docs that they've done that I've really enjoyed, and they have a movie collection. I just never am like, I'm gonna go home, I'm gonna get an Apple TV Plus, and that's like one of the crimes of all this great content we have that's spread across all these things that people are forced to have subscriptions to and pay for each month. You have to choose, and then when you choose, you have to choose between the ones you chose. It's fucking nuts. And so I like Shudder, sometimes I'm like, fuck, man, I haven't watched a Shudder movie in a long time, or Apple TV Plus, or whatever, or Showtime, or Stars, all these things that I have access to, and yet I don't use them all. It's fucking silly. And I we all say things at the beginning of the year, but like, I really want to utilize the things I have access to. I want to try to like make a filter system. Maybe I was gonna tell you this, Connor, but fuck it, why not? See what you guys think. I was thinking about like making a list and not drawing them randomly, but going in order, so that I know every single one gets a shout out like almost every week. Like, I'm gonna pick something on Hulu, I'm gonna pick something on Shudder. Like, I'm thinking about doing it, trying to go in order.
I did that for a while, and it's highly effective. So I recommend that.
Okay, yeah, I might, just because it's like it's being paid for.
Yeah.
Fucking use it. So, Michael J. Fox, what's the name of the doc one more time for the listeners?
Still a Michael J. Fox movie.
All right, love it. First doc taken. But I love that you picked a documentary. I feel like I have a hand in that and your love for them. So
You do 100%. Before I met you, I didn't really give a shit about documentaries. You pretty much turned me on to that.
They're the best, man. Especially for someone who you likes all kinds of history. Like, that's, quite frankly, let's be honest, biopics don't mean shit.
They don't.
So yeah, so I love that you've fallen in love with those. Shit, man. Just got 2 picks here, and then I'm done. And I'm like, man, I've got so many I want to talk about. I'm gonna try to be effective here for the listeners, though. and maybe go off of my heart, go with my brain a bit about what I want to recommend. There's some big time movies. We've mentioned John Wick 4. I'd love to draft that, but like, people know what it is. I want to pick a couple things that may be kind of off the beaten path, like Connor just did with Still. So I'm gonna pick a doc as well here. Let's get two out there. The one I'm gonna pick is I've watched a few this year. Obviously being a big sports fan, those are a great way to learn about stuff and get good footage of certain events that have happened. But the one that really rocked me was on HBO, Max, called The Stroll. This is about trans women in the meatpacking district in New York in 90s, early 2000s. And this is one of those things where I know nothing. This is a complete blind spot for me, history wise. I know nothing about these people. And what better way than to get a trans woman directing the film, someone who lived there, someone who lived through it, and then getting their friends to be interviewed and make a movie about what they've gone through, what they still go through, how much better it's gotten for them. Shine a light on things that are good for them, shine a light on things that are, hey, this is still not working for us. We want better respect. So I was just really enthralled by it. I thought it was really well done. A lot of the footage from the 90s was very, very fascinating, and about an area that I knew nothing about, zero, zilch, and about the people that lived there. So I highly recommend it for people who enjoy the documentary form of filmmaking. I think it's extremely effective. And again, that's an HBO original that's on Max. Let's see, my last pick here. There's a couple comedies that I really want to shout out.
Also,
we haven't talked about.
We didn't talk about it, but like this year for comedies was a good
dude. That's where
comedy.
I'm like, fuck, man. There's a certain Miss Jennifer Lawrence who really blew me away in one film that's on Netflix right now. There's
raunchy comedies made by women, like
yes,
led by women. I was really impressed with the ones that came out this year.
Yeah, there's a big three to me, and all three of them are like fucking lights out. And I kind of want to pick one of those, but I'm also like, bro, there's this guy named Martin Scorsese we haven't talked about yet.
Yep.
Man, this is hard. There's this David Fincher guy we haven't talked about yet. But oh fuck, I'm gonna go with one that I was really shocked by, and no one's gonna pick it. I know that, and it's on Hulu, so that's another reason I want to pick it. Is it's readily available, called Theater Camp. I thought this movie fucking ruled.
I almost watched this the other night. I got so close to watching this.
Do it. Fucking do it, man. You're going to love it. Jimmy Tetro, oh my God, he's so good in this movie. Ben Platt, I've never liked Ben Platt. And then I was like, oh my God, Ben Platt, you're one of my favorite performers of the year in this movie. Again, it's called Theater Camp. You can kind of guess what it's about. It's about some kids that go to this really unique summer camp that's run by a woman. Not really a spoiler. Early on in the movie, the woman is no longer there, and her son, played by Jimmy, comes in guns a-blazing, and has to try to run this camp and do different things. Noah Galvin is so good. Molly Gordon is so good in it, and it again, just like I mentioned with some documentaries can teach you about stuff. Theater camp really is that's nothing I did growing up. I always went to basketball camp or whatever. This is something way out of left field for me that I don't know anything about. And I thought like the culture of it and the language that's used, I thought was fucking hilarious, man. So I wanted to pick kind of a comedy because I feel like, there were some really strong ones, and I don't have one on my list. I have a pretty serious list: Past Lives, The Iron Claw, I'd Had Him Fall, and The Stroll. Let's lighten the mood a bit. So Theater Camp, it's really hard to not pick some other movies, but that's the one that I watched like at fucking 9 a.m. one morning before work. I was like, I'll throw this on. I'll finish it later. I ended up just sitting there and like, oh my God, this is amazing. And I just watched the whole thing and then went to work. And that's powerful, when you can sit down on the couch and just be totally captivated for a couple hours. So highly recommend it on Hulu, Theater Camp.
Yeah. When I was putting together my kind of list of missed gems that I wanted to knock out before we did this, I asked you what you thought my priority film should be. and Theater Camp was one of the ones you told me to watch. And
For sure. Yeah.
I did, and yeah, it was hysterical and it was full of heart, and the ending did make me tear up a little. And there was one line that just had me like I had to pause and cackle. It was after what the hell his name, the main like frat bro dude
Jimmy Tetra is the actor. Yeah. God, he's so good in it. Yeah.
he finds out the deal with the camp, and he just mutters to himself, "I've really got to start reading the mail."
Yeah. Yeah. Or the line, the like what's a game musical or whatever, that whole bit, and Noah's like, a musical. It's just like, man, there's just some like little subtle lines that are so good, and the final number, dude, camp is in home, like, is a fucking banger, dude. Like, I was like, kind of crying but also so happy. I was like, man, this is awesome. It made me feel like I was watching like Toy Story or something. Like, I just felt like a little kid, just like, yeah, this is great. I feel good. I'm ready to go to work, and I don't care. So yeah, it has my utmost respect, man. I love movies like this that are the little guys. The little guys trying to do their thing. So, Adam, you're gonna fucking love this movie. Like, just right up your alley.
Good. I'll watch it soon.
Yeah, Hulu, baby, and Caleb as well. We've mentioned some comedies. This I think I ought to put near the top of those other ones we were kind of talking about. So definitely give it a whirl.
Oh, I'm down. I'm look, me and Connor have talked about before, like comedy is to me kind of like it comes in waves, right? You got like back when kids with Seth Rogen and Will Ferrell and all of them, and you had that wave of comedy that came out and was just dominating, and it's been kind of dormant since, and it just feels like another thing is obviously, and I don't get too political, but obviously people kind of getting like easily offended and stuff nowadays.
Fuck that, yeah.
You see like people not wanting to go there anymore with comedies, so watching things like Bottoms and Joyride and No Hard Feelings and seeing that come back and say, hey, we don't give a shit who we piss off. We just are trying to make jokes and be funny. And if you don't like it, don't watch the movie.
Mhm.
And again, another common thing was that this time these are being done by like, female or directors, actors, stuff like that. I was like, okay, comedy seems to be back. I'm down. So if this is like some, along those lines of like that kind of, I'm more down watching. I'm reinvigorated after watching this, being like, yes, comedy, and the raunchy comedy specifically seems to be finally fucking back.
Yeah, that was the big three I was talking about: Bottoms, Joyride, No Hard Feelings. I think Bottoms is fucking amazing. Like,
Bottoms is wild.
I immediately like hold Bottoms to a like crazy high esteem. Like, this is one of the canon like high school movies of the past 10 years. Like, I immediately like reached a place that I was like, holy fuck, this is good. And Joyride is fucking bonkers. Like, it's so good.
The fact that Joyride, I text her, I was like, they just got away with like a threesome in a mainstream like movie. What the hell? Hell yeah.
And the dragon tattoo bit, like, so fucking good, man.
I got to hear Academy Award nominee Stephanie Hsu say the quote, "It's not a bop it, it's my asshole."
Yeah.
That was magic.
Yes. You would have thought Marshawn Lynch would be like one of the best parts of the Bottoms. Like, he was cracking me up so much.
He was so good. Yeah. Oh, fuck, man. Yeah. Well, Connor, are you going to take one of those? I know you loved No Hard Feelings.
I loved all three of those movies, but no, I'm not.
Okay.
So I got my self-fulfilling prophecy worked out. I saw this film right at the beginning of the year in a very special, like, one night only screening that Draft House was doing. I managed to score tickets. I invited Colton. He came along, and we had a blast with this movie that I really didn't expect much from, but ended up being my hands down favorite film of the year, and that is Tetris.
Oh, good shout. All right.
Apple TV Plus exclusive, had a very limited theater release. I got to see it. They gave us little tater tots shaped like Tetris pieces. It was,
this is timely. This is timely because that kid just beat Tetris.
Yeah, he did. And I heard like the creator like went and talked to him.
So cool. So cool.
Yeah. Good for that kid. I'm proud of him.
Huh?
So good for that kid. I'm super proud of him.
Right?
Yeah, fucking A, man. His reaction was like, I read the comments on Instagram for like a long time, and people were like making fun of him. I'm like, dude, that is the most like natural, like just like relief gasp from a 13-year-old boy who's just like, who also I read more in, I like got deep into it last night. He just lost his dad like a week ago.
Oh shit.
So like adds like a whole other element of like, dude, let him have this moment. Fuck. Like, get out of here. So I mean, yeah, just God, that was cool as shit. Watching him like he's just freaking out. Like I just did what like no human has done. It's cool. It's fucking cool.
Yeah, he'll get his own movie one day about this. But I never knew how crazy the story behind Tetris was. How it was basically like a Cold War fight for video game supremacy. And that was so amazing. Like I loved Taron Egerton in it, and he was just this like American, game businessman who just needed a win. And he stumbled onto Tetris and had to fight the Russian government to get the guy who made Tetris to the States as an expat so they could like market the game properly. And it was just a layered, crazy one insane event after another movie. And they used the Tetris theme song as the base for the score, which I thought was really cool. And it was just crazy fun and engaging and historic and everything I want from a biopic like that. And I set that at like 4.5 stars and just waited for something to top it, and nothing did.
Wow. I love that. That's so cool. So you got your number one movie, Tetris. And this is on Apple TV Plus?
Yes.
I need to get back on it. Come on, I got a couple movies to watch.
I've given Apple way more of a chance this year, and I have been so happy.
Good. That's great to hear.
Really quick, we should just have 2 picks left total, right?
Yeah, Caleb and then Adam. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm missing one. Can we do a recap of your picks, Dawson, real quick?
Yeah. So I got Past Lives, The Iron Claw, A24, baby. Anatomy of a Fall, The Stroll, Theater Camp.
The Stroll
Connor,
is the one I'm missing.
Okay. Yeah. And Connor just picked his 5th. Caleb's up now with his 5th. Then you'll finish it off. And we're gonna leave off some fucking bangers. Oh my god,
dude! There's ones I'm looking at. Like, I'm not gonna pick them, so I'm safely say there's like some Shutter ones that came out that I really liked. They just barely missed the cut for this.
Yeah, it's tough, man.
We'll have an opportunity to talk about that.
Oh no, I know. Me and Connor.
We'll do a rapid fire honorable mention at the end.
Caleb and I are doing a cool separate project involving 2023 horror that we have planned later. So.
Oh yeah,
Shutter's gonna get its due.
Oh, there's a lot here on this list. I think it's due on that one.
So what you're telling me is Caleb should have saved 3 of his 4 movies for that list.
He straight up told me before we started doing this that that's what he was gonna do, but then
that's what I can't help myself. It's very difficult.
You're like, I'm on air. They need to know. I love that.
He can't compromise. He's the horror guy. If he started picking comedies, everyone would be like, "What the hell? He's gone soft."
Yeah, Charmin.
Don't you worry, because I'm ending it with horror. And actually, I'm going to do a documentary too. I thought it'd be the first one to do a documentary.
Sweet. So we're gonna have 3 docs, maybe 4 with Adam. Who knows?
Yeah. This is one again is on Screenbox. But it's about one of the biggest icons in horror, one of our living legends, if you will, and that is Hollywood Dreams and Nightmares, the Robert Englund story. Freddy Krueger himself. They released the doc basically that covered his entire career, from when he started, to where he is now, and it's extensive. I think it's about 2.5 hours long. It's a long one, but it's really, really good. I mean, it's obviously Robert Englund himself, which if anyone knows, that guy can talk. Like he can talk and talk and talk. He's a talker, but it's other people that have worked with him. And I mean, it's not just his horror stuff. It's covering when he was first breaking out, when he did TV, he was on the show V, which was like really his big, like kind of break that got him things like Nightmare on Elm Street and stuff like that. And where he is now, his legacy in the genre, how much of an icon he is. And it even gets to a point where at the end, he hits, it ends with his piece and what the genre's meant to him, what the fans have meant to him and all that stuff. And, even I got, as a longtime horror fan, someone who's idolized this guy all my life, even I got a little teary-eyed then with his speech and like what this has meant to him and, how he feels about the genre and the fans and everything. if you're even if you're just like you only know him from Freddy Krueger, and that's it. I still highly recommend this doc. You get such a cool story about this guy, and it just reaffirms my love for him as an actor, as a person. You get the little tidbit of how Tarantino even used the whole hey, my name is Buck, and I'm here to fuck. And Kill Bill, he got it from Robert Englund in the movie, I believe, Eaten Alive.
Oh God, fucking Eaten Alive.
Yeah, it's a line he says in that, and Tarantino got it from that spin. Kill Bill decades later. You really realize how influential he was to a lot of things, and yeah, whether you're a casual fan or a hardcore horror fan, like I highly recommend this documentary.
Fuck yeah, I'm looking stuff up about it. It looks fucking legit. Yeah, and it's only on what's it called? Screenbox.
Screenbox. I don't know if it's on anything else. Usually, if it's on Screenbox, you can rent it on Prime at least.
Okay. All right. Yeah, this looks legit. You got all kinds of cool people getting interviews and stuff. So, yeah, good shout. I love that. I love that you. That's your list is very you, but that is the most you pick so far. So,
Thank you.
Robert Englund. You're Robert Englund's biggest fan here. So yeah, I definitely want to check this out. And I do appreciate. I think you would be honest about whether you're a horror fan, a movie fan, or just a fan of learning about something unique. It could be an effective piece of filmmaking. So yeah, I'm interested. I'm very interested, even though I already do like some of those movies. So I'm in. Connor, have you seen this?
I have not. Again, I don't have Screenbox.
Yeah, you don't have a box.
I don't. I've considered renting it, especially for something we got coming up on the schedule. I'm considering renting it just for extra backstory. But you could always do what I did to watch Terrifier 2 last year, which is do the Screenbox free trial, watch the movie, and then cancel it.
Yeah, sure. Screenbox loves hearing that.
Being honest, I got too much shit. I can't add more. No, I can't do it.
I know what you mean, man. I know exactly what you mean. We were just talking about how we don't have enough time for the ones we already have.
We're already on the verge of just doing cable again. I can't do it.
Yeah, straight up.
Yeah, man. No, we're right there. We're right there. No, yeah. You ever heard the phrase "shopping in your own closet"? That's
all the time.
Yeah, that's what we need to do with our streaming services. Like, man, yeah, I could get a new one, or I could like actually take in the stuff that I have already.
The phrase "I have nothing to watch" does not exist anymore.
No, you can't say that. Yeah. No. Even if you're not paying for anything, there's YouTube. Like
Tubi. Yeah. That's
like
Tubi, Freevee,
Roku channel is free. Yeah, yes. There's so many free things. You can even watch movies for free on Amazon with like the IMDb thing or whatever. Yeah. It's like, I mean, and there's like great movies on there, like classics. So I can't.
Yeah. No,
it's insane.
Okay, before I make the last pick of this whole thing, I'm missing one of Connor's movies. Connor, can you go through yours real quick?
Yeah. I had
-1.
Yep.
Godzilla -1, Dream Scenario, The Holdovers, Still, a Michael J. Fox movie, and Tetris.
Oh, Still. I didn't put that one in. Okay, cool.
Missing the docs, I see.
Yeah, I was.
The stroll and
I'm trying to track everybody, so I knew. Okay, so this is interesting. So
you're in a tough spot, my friend.
Very.
David Fincher's got a gun to your head. Martin Scorsese's got a fucking sword.
Well, that's the thing. Is like, yeah.
Wes Anderson's like, I don't care.
Yes.
Greta Gerwig's over there, like, come on, huh? Maybe.
And meanwhile, like, despite all four of the people you just named, who I love, and they have so many things. I mean, Fincher probably is my favorite director. I gotta go with Who I Am, and eight of my top 10 movies have actually been picked. I just posted my top 10 movies on my Instagram. I do like a little yearly post of like my favorite movies, TV shows, podcasts, things like that.
Nice.
And 8 of my top 10 have been picked.
Good,
I've got it down to 2. My number 5 and my number 10. My number 5 is what I should pick. My number 10 is what I want to pick. So I'm gonna go with Air as my last.
Yes, let's
pick.
go.
Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah.
Air rules. Also,
I Am Who I Am.
So good
I
show.
Am Who I Am. It's on Amazon. It's the story of the creation of the Jordan brand, essentially. Nike getting the contract to sign Michael Jordan out of North Carolina and become his endorser. I think it's really cleverly done how they never really show the kid who plays Michael Jordan, his face or anything like that. That's not really what the movie's about. It's not really about Michael Jordan. It's about the people who signed him. And it's Ben Affleck, it's Matt Damon reuniting.
Yeah.
And it's just so fun. I mean, I think it came out in March. And
Yeah.
I just remember leaving the theater like, man, that was a lot of fun. Damon is awesome. Damon's one of my favorites of all time. So it's really good. He plays Sonny Vaccaro, who's this like legendary kind of figure in the basketball world. Yeah, I got to go with my heart. I'm gonna go there.
Yeah. I almost picked this as well because it is just like if you were to go inside of our brains and be like, make a movie, it's like Air shoots out. Air and Uncut Gems like shoot out. Yeah, and I mean, man, is it cool to have a pair like Affleck and Damon just making movies, just having fun, making movies, doing cool shit. This is where they need to be, just doing this together, doing projects together. They were on Bill Simmons' podcast together, and it was like lightning in a bottle. Hour of podcasting is them two just talking about the process, what they do together, when they used to live together, back in the day when they were doing like Good Will Hunting and all that, to like now and how they do Air because they have like their own families and all this stuff. It was so rewarding to kind of see this movie come out and be good, be legitimately good. So this is a wonderful pick. Air rules, and Connor and I saw it together. And even Connor was just like, this is awesome. And he's not a big basketball guy. And that shows the power of movie making, baby.
Yeah. I haven't thought about the Air Jordan once in my life till I saw that movie. And I was blown away by just, the story. I love the story. This has been like the understated year of the brand biopic, and I have loved all of them.
Yeah. Did you all see the Beanie Bubble?
I didn't see
no. It's pretty solid. It was actually like pretty funny and like pretty like it's like it's an eye-opening story. Blackberry, Beanie Bubble, the Cheetos one, like it's like all like there's all these like really random like brand stories. But
Bo is afraid. Yeah, I mean.
But no, I'm glad y'all liked Air as much as I did.
Dude, yeah, fucking A, man. Yeah. Movie rules. I'm glad it made the cut here on the list. Wait, so that's your number 10. What's your number 5? Killers? Flower Moon?
Killers.
Yeah. So let's okay. Killers of the Flower Moon. The Killer.
Asteroid City.
Asteroid City. John Wick 4.
Yep.
Mission Impossible.
Yep.
Is there any other huge movie I'm missing? I thought May to December was one of the finest movies I've seen all year.
Barbie.
Barbie. No, yes, that's the other one. Yeah.
Biggest movie of the year. Biggest movie of the year. No one picked it.
Yeah. Yeah. Greta Gerwig, Scorsese, Fincher, Anderson. Yeah.
Ari Aster. I didn't necessarily consider Barbie. I mean, I saw it. I liked it, but it's like I actually don't really. I didn't really even consider it. Honestly, it wasn't on my long list. It wasn't. I mean, it's good. It's good, and I left it at that. It was a 3.5 star for me, and it's like I did only 4 stars and up on my list. So
that's totally respectable. Yeah. No, I didn't really think about it either. I mean, look, we're 4 dudes here, so
I know. It's like, of course we didn't pick Barbie. Yeah. It's like,
yeah. But at the same time, we didn't pick the Scorsese movie,
right?
And we didn't pick the Fincher. I think those guys are definitely like, bro, dude. Especially. You know what it is for me? Flower Moon, I have a really hard time articulating my thoughts on it.
Yeah, me too.
It's one I totally understand why people don't vibe with it. Totally understand why people are like, all right, Marty, like we get it. But man, when I watched in theaters, I was like, this is fucking good. It's one of those like I get it, I understand, and I'm not trying to be disrespectful to any person, and I will never be like, oh, you're an idiot for not liking this movie. I get it, but I will not deny, and I have no problem admitting this. I've heard other people kind of talk about this through podcasts and Letterboxd. Like I do, and most people who did see this movie come from a privileged bias of like the way they watch movies. I'm okay with admitting that and saying that and accepting it and trying to like work on that as I keep watching movies and get older. But Killers of the Flower Moon, I felt like, wow. I mean, it was one of those where you're kind of like looking at the whole screen like, Jesus H, this is just incredible. I feel the same way about Asteroid City. I know this group is not crazy about that movie, but I thought it was fucking amazing. I loved it. I saw it by myself and I was like, I just love this guy to death. May December, like lights out. Todd Haynes movie, like so good.
I was very
it's-
shocked you didn't pick that.
Yeah, and Natalie and Julianne Moore, like two of the most talented women to like walk the earth, are just going like toe to toe in that movie. And that's just like, wow, I can't believe. And like, I mean, fucking Tom Cruise doing all the craziest shit we've ever seen in Dead Reckoning Part 1. You know, there's just it goes to show, you know, at the top of the show, I think we were talking about, you know, Connor and Caleb were mixed. Adam and I were a little bit more optimistic. I don't know. I look at the movies we picked, I look at what's left, and I'm like, fuck. Like there's 40 movies that are worth talking about. And that, to me, I can sleep at night with that.
Fair enough. Yeah. Yeah, some stuff that I like struggled with. Like I wanted there was another documentary I watched that I was kind of torn between the Michael J. Fox one and the one about David Holmes.
Yeah, I was wondering, yeah.
Yeah, The Boy Who Lived, which is about stuntman David Holmes, who worked on the Harry Potter movies until Deathly Hallows Part 1 when a freak accident broke his neck and paralyzed him. And this is his story about his recovery and how he's lived his life since. And that was dark and very touching and very, just a very interesting story. But I have admittedly a much more personal connection to Michael J. Fox. And that story got to me a little bit more. So I had to flip a coin there.
Yeah. No, that's totally fair. I'm kind of surprised we haven't talked about Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I thought that ruled.
That's on my honorable mention list.
That was on my honorable mention. That was one because I love Ninja Turtle. I love the first two ones from the 90s, and I really like this animated one.
Yeah, it's cool.
I was like, it was so good. I was actually really mad when I saw the box office, and I was like, guys, come on, go see it. I want more of this.
Yeah, I thought it was really cool. I saw that on National Cinema Day. I was fuck yeah, this is nice. Tickets were like $5.
You took Willow, right?
Yeah, Willow loved this. Willow has seen in theaters Super Mario Bros, which is fine. I thought it was cute.
It was fun. It was fun. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I had a good time. It's shorts, you know. Jack Black is great. Spider-Man, Little Mermaid, TMNT, and I want to say Brianna took her to another one without me. I just cannot remember because like we watched Elemental at home. She loves Elemental. Yeah, I actually quite like Elemental. It's not, you know, top tier Pixar, but I think it's a cute film. You know, there's another one. Have any of you guys seen Are You There, God? It's Me, Margaret?
No, that's on my
man. That movie's fucking good. Yeah. Like I had a hard time picking between that and Theater Camp. And then all those comedies.
So very quickly, I'll run through these real quick. I had a list of the kind of need to see that like I knew, you know, and you picked two actually Austin off of my need to see. You picked Theater Camp and Anatomy of a Fall, but I also had Are You There, God? It's Me, Margaret, All the Strangers, Maestro, Zone of Interest, May, December.
Oh, Maestro. Yeah, I liked
Maestro. The Color Purple, American Fiction, and Beau is Afraid.
American Fiction is the one that I was like, I'm sure Connor's going to take it because he responded to that one, but
I liked it. Yeah, I liked it a lot.
Five spots is fucking hard.
Yeah, it's hard. Yeah.
American Fiction loses a little points because the ending is very forced, but it's a good movie, and Jeffrey Wright's amazing in it. Sterling K. Brown especially is like,
yes,
the range that guy fucking has. Yeah, that was a good one. I really like Dumb Money. I thought that got a bum rap.
Yeah, there you go. I was waiting for that to be shouted out as well. Yeah. Did anybody see Rye Lane on Hulu?
I that's another one I almost watched the other night, Austin.
Cute as shit. Yeah, cute movie. Yeah.
That was there was tons of when I was in England in March, there was like billboards of that everywhere. And I listened to an interview with the girl. Yeah.
Super British. Yeah.
I need to see that.
Infinity Pool, anybody? I thought Infinity Pool ruled. Yeah, I loved
Infinity Pool.
Yeah, me too. Thought that movie was fucking awesome.
Infinity Pool's okay, so I do want to shout out some like other horror films I didn't have.
Yeah, let's hear it. Yeah, let's hear it.
Go for it.
And by the way, Austin, if you have any recommendations for Shudder, hit me up. I got
dude. I've said for the past 3 years, like I need to watch more Shudder. And my problem might be that when I get on there, I'm like, duh, you know, or I just see like classics that I've already seen, and I'm like, you know, I want something like good that's new. Like I didn't watch is it called When Evil Lurks?
That's actually one of my shout outs. Yeah, when Evil
Lurks. I have friends at work who are like, dude, like this movie is fucking good. Like, and I just didn't get around to it.
No, yeah, come to me. But
Yeah.
so on that, like when Evil Lurks was really good. It I saw it after Exorcist Believer, which I despised,
I
and
can't. I'm good. I'm good.
yeah, and like that was everything I wanted. Something to be it's
Yeah.
grotesque, it is shocking, it is doing something different with the the possession genre. It was awesome. Another good one. It's the fourth film in the franchise, so you kind of have to watch the other ones, but it was fucking solid and creepy. Hell House LLC Origins, the Carl Michael,
Okay.
very creepy fucking found footage film. Real good stuff. Another one. This is a theater release. I believe it's VOD now. Eli Roth made his grand return to the type of horror I like him in with Thanksgiving. So much fun, like just
Yeah.
so much fun, and everything you want. Like if you liked like Cabin Fever, Hostel 1 and 2, like that kind of Eli Roth when he was first coming out into the scene, it's kind of harkens back to that. Like it is everything I kind of wanted him to do, and I have noticed, no ill will towards what he has been doing. I'm very happy for him and the success he's had outside of horror, but it was very nice to see him come back with Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Very
No, that's
stuff.
great. Yeah, I need to see that.
Oh yeah. Um, other, we had our big franchises come back with Evil Dead Rise, Scream 6.
Hey,
Both
I liked
good.
Evil Dead Rise. I thought Evil Dead Rise was nice. Yeah.
Yeah, I've also Evil Dead Rise was good. Scream 6 was solid. I know some people had
Dude, I can't talk about Scream. I'm so like gutted by it. Like makes me really emotional. Like the direction. Like
yeah, everything
I
going
would have picked
on
Scream
7.
6 if everything would have happened.
Yeah,
Like infuriating.
it's annoying. The last one I want to shout out is on Hulu as well. No One Will Save You. It
Okay.
is,
Oh,
Oh
yeah, I
wait.
saw
Adam,
that.
you seen this? Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
yeah, dude. Fuck, I was really blown away by this film. I think
yeah, it's good.
yeah, it's real, dude. Like virtually no dialogue. It's anchored by I think Caitlin Dever, how you say her last
Yeah,
name?
Yeah.
Caitlin Dever, yeah.
Dever.
She's legit. Yeah.
She is phenomenal. I wish I got a theatrical release, but hey, it got released and it's really, really good. A very unique take on alien invasion.
Yes. No, I like that quite a bit.
Sweet.
Yeah, I'm glad to see
Sweet.
your hands on that. Yeah.
I would like to just real quick shout out of a comedy that got eviscerated by critics and fans alike, but I was laughing my ass off. Old Dads.
Old Dads. Yeah, you were telling me about this the other day. Yeah.
I love seeing Bill Burr complain. It's one of my favorite things to watch, and I agreed with him pretty much the entire movie. So
Yeah.
I don't know what that says
Yeah.
about me, but I thought that was hysterical, and I thought it didn't get nearly enough like attention that it deserved. So that's Old Dads.
Yeah. Not. I love Bill Burr as well, so I just want to watch it because of him. And you're right, when he like kind of turns it up, like dials it up a bit, like an F is for Family, and just like just starts screaming. It's conjuring up the Adam Sandlers of our world, of our comedic world, and it's great. I'm looking at the cast for Old Dads. Am I seeing Bokeem Woodbine is one of the dads?
Legend.
Wow.
Them two and Bobby Cannavale and Bokeem Woodbine might be the funniest because of the shit he's going through in the movie.
I'm in, dude.
He just kind of has like a fugue state moment of like, nope, and just starts doing a bunch of crazy shit. It's I liked it a lot. I don't get why people like. I think people just saw red when he started doing his thing because that's what happens now. But it's funny if you just watch it and respond to the jokes. It's funny.
Yeah. That's kind of what comedy is about, right? Just put your guard down a bit.
My one rule of comedy is if it makes me laugh, I like it. That's it.
Look, I always abide by like the Trey Parker, Matt Stone rule of comedy. It's either all funny or nothing at all. Like that's always been my thing. So like, you have every right to get offended. If so, instead of complaining on social media, just don't watch it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that movie. But
I didn't pick like maybe my favorite movie of the year. I haven't mentioned it yet. I don't know why. It's A Fire. I was talking to you about it one day, Connor, that German movie that had like, it's very rare that Criterion gets a, on their streaming service, Criterion channel gets a like premiere movie. They've it's always, old stuff. But like once a year, maybe twice a year, they'll get like a new film and they'll get kind of like first go at it. And A Fire by written and directed by Christian Petzold, just like was exactly what I needed on this one night that I was kind of going through something like personally in my own mind. And I just, it may not be as good as I'm building it up to be, but when that happens, when something hits you and you're like, I don't really care. I needed it in that moment.
Yep.
And it helped me. It held my hand through that night or through that day or whatever it is. Everybody else can fuck off. It was one of those. So A Fire, I'm not going to call it one of the best movies of the year, but for me, it's one of my favorites. And I like just responded to it so much. And I talked about earlier with the observing and participating. Man, oh man, when we're watching our main character, there's moments where he decides to not do one or the other, and it bites him in the ass. And so I just thought like it was like a really, really unique take on learning that in yourself and paying attention to your own actions and what you do around it, like groups of people, and when you need to be alone. And sometimes I feel like I struggle big time with that. So love that movie. And then probably my favorite performance of the entire year is inside of 1001, the A.V. Rockwell movie, Tiana Taylor. Holy shit. I had like no idea. I've watched Tiana Taylor on the her reality show with Iman Shumpert she's married to. I've watched that with my wife, like here and there. And I'm like, oh yeah, she seems cool. And he's, I love Iman Shumpert. Neat. But like, I'd never seen her act like this. And she was so fucking good, man. I was like, where was this? Or like, am I the one who's dumb? Have I not like paid attention to her career? I'm not really sure. But this movie for a debut from Rockwell was like so good. I almost picked it. It's on Amazon Prime. I watched it like a week ago. I was trying not to do too much recency bias. So I was trying to pick stuff that I watched earlier in the year or, midway through the year or whatever. Like Theater Camp is something I watched like in July. You know what I mean? So that's one that really impacted me. But other than that, I can leave it to you guys if you have any last little things you want to say before we get out of here.
Yeah, very quickly. I'll throw out one or two more. So yeah, like I said, we got 9 of my top.
This
10.
is your chance, baby. So
yeah, we got 9 of my top 10, which is really cool. Clears the Fire Moon, the only one was a pick, which I had 5. My numbers 11, 12, and 13 on the year were The Killer, Asteroid City, and John Wick 4. But two documentaries I watched this year that I liked, kind of sports documentaries, because I am who I am. The Beckham documentary was really good.
Oh,
Netflix.
dude, fuck yeah.
As was the Bill Russell one. Bill Russell Legend.
I haven't watched that yet.
Yeah, it's really good. Yeah.
Shame on me.
Yeah. Those two are ones I want to kind of give a quick shout out to.
Now, Bill, the Russell one's a proper film, right? Like it's like 2 hours.
It's in 2 parts, but yeah, it's like 2:45 probably total.
Okay,
yeah.
But Beckham's quite has a little
Beckham's
bit more,
like 4 hours. Yeah,
it's a little more. But man, it's good, dude. Beckham's
really
good. The Beckham one's one of those kind of like we were talking about. Caleb was talking about Hollywood dreams and nightmares. It's one of those where it's like you don't really need to care about soccer or Beckham. It's just like fascinating, the rise of this guy and kind of. I think people don't realize how good of a player he was because
the fame
of how
almost made him
popular
underrated as a player.
Correct.
When during his time, the fame was almost overrated, but it now has underrated him.
Correct.
Yeah, does that make sense?
Correct. Yeah.
Like he's so kind of ubiquitous, but yeah, and I also think it's a total case study in fame and what it does to you. Really, really interesting. I mean, there's some fascinating elements to those documentaries.
Yeah, for sure. The one that stands out the most is another soccer one, Maradona, from 4 years ago. That's just this guy's not a puppet. Please, leave him alone. Yeah, man. The plenty of sports docs. Bye Bye Barry on Prime, Reggie on Prime. Yeah, I'm with you. I just inhale that shit. So I need to watch the Bill Russell one though.
Yeah, very good.
I do want to give a shout out to like John Wick 4 just because
dude, yeah,
what really a hell of a way. Like I look, I'm gonna say it. I honestly don't want John Wick 5 to happen because what a hell of a way.
Yeah,
in the franchise with that movie. Like
perfect last 10 minutes.
So confession, I'd never seen any of them. until I got back from England on my trip earlier this year, and I kind of had like nothing to do for a few days when I got back. It was just kind of like this little dead time in my schedule for like coaching and stuff. And I just was like, I stayed home and I watched all three of them one day, and it was like the weekend before it came out, and I went and saw it in theaters, and I was like, man, those are great. I was like,
Yeah,
like
I
I
mean-
see why there's so much like hype about it, and the fourth one
They're
was awesome.
they're like undoubtedly the action movies of the 21st century. Like they're so fucking good, so well done. I think my favorite, or this is hard. Like you have a few, but like one of my favorite scenes is the overhead shot of him it's like
God,
is like
yes.
wow,
Insane.
it's
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
this is sick.
Yeah,
The
Yeah.
breath
Yeah.
gun was fucking amazing. That was such a
Yes.
cool fit. Yeah.
Dude.
and the car
Yeah.
chase scene throughout Paris, where like she's on the radio, kind of getting like
Yeah, I mean,
like that. Yeah, it's so good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I remember when I went to go see it, I was kind of worried. I was like, God, it's almost 3 hours. Like, are they going to be able to sustain
It
for
dude, it
this
didn't
long?
feel like that at
It
all.
didn't.
Yeah.
They sustained the whole way through.
Relentless. Yeah.
It was, it
It's
was
just-
so good.
Well, Austin,
I laugh half the time when I'm watching them. I'm like, oh my god, this
Austin,
is so,
the
like going up
steps?
going up the
Oh,
steps.
God.
yeah, we climbed those steps. Like it's
I know,
yeah, it's
yeah,
like I've climbed
I
those
know.
steps. I know exactly what that's at, and it's like
Yeah.
that would be miserable. To
When
be
he
fighting someone.
like falls back down, he's like,
You're
"Ugh."
like no, yeah.
I love like the
Uh.
dark, like almost black humor of like the camera making us watch him fall.
yes, yes.
Yeah, dude, just brutal. Yeah, God, those movies are like, they're like way too good for what they are.
Yeah,
They have no business being that good, but goddamn, yeah. So I was like very convinced that Connor or Caleb were going to take Wick 4, but it's very clear that this, honestly, from what I'm hearing, this might be the mutual favorite of the year. John Wick 4.
Yeah, I think that's fair. Yeah,
Yeah.
It sounds like we all have it pretty high up in our personal lists.
On mine, I was like I was tossing up between that one and Extraction 2, but I was like, you know what? Let me do Extraction 2 because like these streaming films, they come out the weekend that everyone talks about them, and then after that, no one talks about them. It's
Yeah,
not like
yeah.
theater films like get that discussion long after they come out.
Yeah, no, I think that was a good call because I think Extraction 2 is definitely one that people need that extra push to watch. Whereas John Wick 4 is like, you don't need to push me at all.
Yeah.
It's fucking Keanu just doing his thing. All right, well, I'll wrap it up here. I'll do a quick recap of everybody's list, and then we can get out of here. This has been an absolute blast. We're going to do this every single year with this 4. It's way too much fun. I got Past Lives, The Iron Claw, Anatomy of a Fall, The Stroll, and Theater Camp. Connor went with Godzilla -1, Dream Scenario, The Holdovers, Still, a Michael J. Fox story, a Michael J. Fox movie, and Tetris. Caleb got Saw X, Extraction 2, Talk to Me, The Outwaters, Hollywood Dreams and Nightmares, the Robert Englund story. Is that?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. And then Adam went with Oppenheimer, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, Poor Things, Blackberry, and Air. All right. Good shit, boys. This is so much fun, man. I already can't wait for whatever comes out in 2024 that we can draft next year. It's gonna be a tradition that lasts for hopefully a long time.
Speaking of, with that, I do want to announce next week for First Thoughts, we have potentials. We have the Mean Girls musical remake, which we have The Beekeeper, Jason Statham's latest action flick, and we have The Book of Clarence, which looks very unique and is going to be controversial.
Yeah, I'm interested in The Book of Clarence for sure.
Yeah, so I'll try to make First Thoughts happen on some of those. We'll see what we got.
Hell yeah, man. All right. Keep watching movies. We'll see you very soon on Wednesday and hopefully next week for First Thoughts.
Thank you.